I hope you're ready for me to commit crimes against dragon type. Hello and welcome to the most lukewarm take stream you will ever see in your life. Oh boy, I've actually been looking forward to this since I decided that this is what I was going to do today. I'm ready to be absolutely fucking cancelled. Here we go. My anniversary is over already. It hasn't even started yet. But hi, I hope you've been well. Welcome to this is my favorite Pokemon's list. If you don't agree, that is 100% your prerogative. Allow me to go ahead and post a link in the chat because I didn't put it in Streamlabs or anything like that because I have one brain cell and it doesn't work, remember? But yeah, if you want to do a list along with me, or if you want to just save it for later and do it on your own time, then feel free. There's a link in the chat. I'll post it later if I need to. But yeah, like I said, welcome to Lukewarm Takes, the Lukewarm Take. I'm gonna be going in order, top to bottom, left to right, and if you see me looking down or I'm sleeping, don't worry, I have my phone because I cannot see chat past Google Chrome. So don't worry, chat, I'm just looking at you. But let's get started, shall we? Of course, Generation 1 normal type. I mean, there's a lot of these, right? But my favorite is Ditto. Because Ditto is very cute. Also, it was funny to... I don't know if you guys know this, but apparently Ditto wasn't supposed to always have the cute little Ditto face on every, transformation. I actually do remember the episode that inspired this whole deal, but you know, marketing says that if he's cute and it works and people like it, you should keep it, right? So that's why Ditto has that face. Technically Ditto should be a perfect copy, but you know, the anime said no. But whatever, who cares, right? Fire types. I'm not a huge fan of fire types in general, I'm not gonna lie. I think fire boasts my least picked starter by far. So I think water and grass make up 4. I think I've only picked fire twice. And that's including the latest generation, by the way. But if I had to pick a favorite from Gen 1 for a fire type, it has to be Arcanine. Arcanine is so cool. I used to think that as a kid, don't laugh at me, I used to think that Arcanine was a tiger, actually. So I was just kind of I found out he was a dog and I was like, wow, I feel kind of stupid, actually. But a friend of mine was like, how did you not know he's a dog? And I'm like, I always just thought he was a tiger because he's orange and has stripes. It made sense to me, right? I don't know if anyone else can really see it, but apparently he's based on a Chinese lion dog or whatever, and that's why he kind of looks the way he does. And I was like, oh, now I feel validated. Water types. I'm also not super fond of water types. It's just so funny. I think my favorite water type by far is easily Blastoise or Squirtle. I love the Squirtle line in general. Also, I'm a former Vaporeon lover. Former for obvious reasons, I hope. And if I have to explain that, you've not been on the internet long enough. 1 and 2, thank God. You sweet summer child, please stay sweet. I'm gonna play Kingler for this though, because crab memes aside, I've always loved crabs, since I was a kid, right? And I think I've always been that type of person who thinks that crabs are super cool. So I haven't changed much since I was a kid. Pokemon came out what, 25? 26? It's 95, right? Oh my god. Okay, let's not talk about it. I'm depressed. That's 28 years ago. I can't believe Pokemon is almost 30. Ah. Grass type? I don't know about grass types either, though. Gen 1, I wasn't super fond of many of the grass types, but I guess if I had to give it to anyone, it would be Vileplume. I actually wound up using Vileplume on my original E4 team, and Vileplume is okay, I guess. Like, I don't hate it for sure. I think it's better now than it was when I was a kid. And I like, as I got older, I started to like Raffalasias as a concept. And also, I love the, if you guys have ever played the original Pokemon Snap, I absolutely love that freaking Vileplume in the river course. I used to love hitting them with Master Balls. Hi, Milky! 320, don't 320 me. I'm getting old, stop. I just remembered that Pokemon is 28. Can we not talk about age now, please? I'm begging you. Electric type is easy. Raichu, 100%. Always. I love Raichu. Raichu is the best chew of all chews. Okay? Raichu isn't the be-all, end-all electric type for me. If I could use a Raichu on my team, I will. Oh, is it? I like Wailmer. Wailmer's good. Wailmer's like one of very few water types I'm like absolutely love them forever, but like most water types are miss for me. Same as ice types. My favorite ice type I can say is Lapras, like 100%, but like I'm not super fond of ice types in general either. Like my favorite type, and we'll get there later, it has a lot of Pokemon I absolutely enjoy, and then I have several types that I just don't care about as a result of this, so like, yeah, forgive me in advance, but that's what we're here for. We're here for the hottest, I mean, lukewarmest Pokemon takes in existence, right? So, also, I'm not gonna say who best Pokemon is until we get there, so don't worry about it. My favorite fighting type is from Gen 1, and of course is Hitmonlee, because Hitmonlee is cool. It's not even room temperature takes. They're like 44 degrees. 44 degrees Fahrenheit, not Celsius. Oh god. 44 Celsius. One day I will experience that in real life. Let's not talk about it. Poison types, I'm also I hate most types of Pokemon. I'm gonna, like, can I just say, if your favorite type is any of the types I'm like, I don't like this type, please don't be upset with me. It's just that I am very picky when it comes to Pokemon. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But I do have a favorite poison type, believe it or don't. It's gonna be Muk. I love Muk. It's because of the anime mostly. I love his relationship with Professor Oak. It's so funny. Because he's just like always attacking the professor with the immense amount of love that he has in his heart. You know, I'm gonna move my keyboard actually. I don't need my keyboard right now, I don't think. There we go. Now I can see chat properly. Put chat on this side for now. Okay. Ground types. Onyx, I guess? I mean, I don't really have a favorite ground or rock type Pokemon. I do have a favorite steel type Pokemon, but it's not in this generation, so lol. Flying type, absolutely Pidgeot, 100%. Love Pidgeot so much. I use one on my original team. Every time I've had the opportunity to use a Pidgeot, I have. So, yeah. Pidgeot is cool. And what else can you say about Pidgeot other than that it looks really cool and is really cool? Right? Like, Pidgeot is cool. Now, I'm gonna tell you something about psychic types, right? My favorite Pokemon is a psychic type. Do I like psychic types? Not really. Not really. But I do like Alakazam. I think Alakazam is really cool. I like the entire Abra line in general, really. Like, I don't dislike any of the Abra line whatsoever, so, you know. I think that Abra is the most annoying little Scrimblow, because, like, he sees you and he's like, oh shit, I'm out, and then he does the little gif, the gif of the guy who just disappears, he just does the peace sign and he teleports. And I'm like, I hate you. Arena Trap is a godsend, is all I have to say about Abra. Fucking Abra. I hate, ugh. Also, okay, I know I have some hot takes about Pokemon types. Believe it or not, Bug is actually one of my favorite types. My favorite bug from Gen 1 is Beedrill. Even though Beedrill is not very good. I, I would I know Aaron was like Aaron's whole thing when they were playing, what was that, Fire Red, I think it was a bit, right? I took a Beedrill to the E4, so that was not a bit. Also, we're gonna put Onyx back in the rock slot because I just like Onyx a lot. Okay, don't look at me. But my favorite Pokemon type is of course Ghost, and my favorite Ghost is Gengar. Absolutely 1,000,000,000,100%. I love Gengar with the entirety of my being. Gengar is not my favorite Pokemon, of course, because Gengar is not a psychic type, but Gengar was my favorite Pokemon until this Pokemon, so. My least favorite type, however, is Dragon, but I do have several favorite dragons, right? Like, excusable dragons. And the first excusable dragon is Dragonair. I love the long noodle. I love it shiny. And despite hating the color pink, I absolutely adore shiny Dragonair. I have a shiny Dratini and a shiny Dragonair in Violet, and it makes me very happy. I feel so bad for Dragonite, but Dragonite is hilariously my favorite color. I love orange. Orange is my favorite color, and Dragonite being orange, respectable, yes, but Dragonite is no longer a noodle and therefore cannot be counted. I love, if you're like a little guy in Pokemon, the chances of me liking you are insanely high. Like, I look at you and I'm like, you're so small and I need to protect, and then I'm like, I love you forever. Which is why Ditto is probably one of my favorite normal types. I love Ditto. Ditto is so cute. He's just a little guy. It's not his birthday. His birthday was like 28 years ago. Come on. It's okay. As I'm sure you're aware, there are no dark or steel types. Technically, there is a steel type option, but for dark, we're gonna pick Ghost Missing No because Ghost Missing No is cool. It's always been my favorite form of Missing No. I just like the idea that Missing No is actually a dark type. That's why he kept corrupting your game. He was dark type before dark type even existed. And then of course for steel you have Magnemite or Magneton. I'm just gonna pick Magneton because Magneton is cool. Magneton is definitely my secondary electric type in Gen 1. If I were doing like a Gen 1 run, I would be between it and Pikachu and Raichu. But that depends on whether or not the game actually has a light ball or not. If the game has the light ball, I will pick Pikachu over Raichu, and if not, it was always Raichu, 100%. 100% Raichu, but if not either one of those two, absolutely Magneton, because Magneton is just silly and fun. Also, speaking of Pokemon Snap, I love, what was that? Was it Cave, I think? At the end where you have the Magnemites and you have to get them together to get the picture of the Magneton. I absolutely love Magneton. And then like when you try to take a picture, they're all mad and they're like, no, I don't want to take a picture. I'm gonna be a magnet. I'm gonna be a magnet. And you give them an apple and they're like, ayo? But okay. Another one of my least favorite types is Fairy. I get why they added Fairy. My Fairy discourse is Fairy did not need to exist. Not everything needs a weakness. I thought it was cool that Spiritomb had no weakness. And Fairy's weaknesses make sense. Things that it's super effective against don't make sense, if that makes sense. Like, Dragon is already weak to ice and itself, so it didn't make sense that Fairy came in and was like, now Dragon is also weak to me, right? I'm gonna go ahead and pick Clefairy for this because Clefairy is my favorite fairy. I do have a more favorite fairy than Clefairy, but we'll get there. But I don't think fairy needs to exist. I think it's kind of silly as a type in general. But I do think it's funny that fairy is not very effective against fire, but fire is not super effective against fairy. I think fire should be super effective against fairy because Fairy's weaknesses kind of make sense when you think about it, like poison being corruption, steel being industry, things like that. So I think that fire, if we think of fairies in the Fae in general, in like their usual habitat, it's usually a forest of some kind, right? So fire would have made sense as a weakness, but it's not a weakness. And I thought that was so silly because I'm like, the other ones make sense, and then fire, it just resists fairy, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Okay, whatever. But I've already spoiled my favorite starter. It's Squirtle. I love Squirtle line in general. I'm gonna pick Wartortle specifically because I just like Wartortle's cool little wave ears and tail. Like, that's just really cool to me, right? Also, gimmick form. It includes Gigantamaxes and Megas and all that cool stuff. My favorite gimmick form from Gen 1 is Mega X. Mega Charizard X is so fucking cool. Which is funny because I hate Charizard. Like, if I was actually kind of torn when I was doing my setup earlier. Also, forgive me, I'm moving my computer. I don't really like Mega Gengar. I think Mega Gengar is really sharp. I do like Mega Gengar in the sense that for the time it was banned, I didn't think it should have been banned. That's because I'm biased as hell, so don't worry about it. But Mega Charizard X, I think, is the coolest. I was torn between its Gigantamax form and Gigantamax Gengar. So, I mean, yeah, Gengar is really cool. But if I had to pick one of those three, I sat down, I looked at them design-wise, both official art and like 3D models and stuff, and for real, like, I think Mega Charizard X is just the coolest of the three, personally. I mean, everyone is 1000% allowed to agree or disagree. We can agree to disagree in this case. But for real, like, I like Mega Charizard X the most design-wise. I just think its colors are really cool. Also, like, I'm sure most people have Mystery Dungeon OCs, and my Mystery Dungeon OC was based on my actual, like, government-assigned Pokemon, which was Charmander. So when I saw Mega Charizard X for the first time and I thought about her Mega evolving into a Mega Charizard X, I was like, that's the coolest shit to me. So it wound up winning out mostly because of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon nostalgia, but it's fine, right? It's fine. Anyway, favorite legendary is Articuno because I'm basic. The smoother it looks, the cooler I think it is. Also, I'm gonna do the favorite column. We're gonna do that last. Besides, there's stuff at the bottom too, but we'll do the favorites before we get to the bottom. How about that? Time to move chat over. Again. Okay. Gen 2 normal type. I'm not entirely sure, because Gen 2 has a lot of really good normal types, right? But if I boiled it down to two Pokemon, right? And that's Ferret and Teddiursa. Those are my two favorites. But if I had to give it to one or the other, it would be Ferret. Because Ferret is just so cute. Like, even before, like, Ferret walk and things like that, I just liked Ferret a lot as a kid. I also really like Sentret. Like, Sentret is really cute. Ursaring, I absolutely adore, but Teddiursa is just... Teddiursa is literally just I'm just a little guy meme. Like, they're so baby, and I love them. Like, the smaller a Pokemon is, the more likely I am to like it, I think. Like I said, if he's just like a little guy, I'm like, I love you. I just look at them and I'm like, I love you. Okay, fire type. Houndoom. Houndoom is my favorite fire type from Gen 2. That's not to say I don't like any of the other fire types from Gen 2, because, I mean, we kind of got a stacked cast of fire types, am I right? Like, fire types in Gen 2 just kind of popped off for some reason. And I'm just like, ugh. But I never actually got to use Cyndaquil or like, anything as a starter. I didn't pick it in Legends Arceus either because I'm biased as hell to Alola because I love my little owl boy. He's so round. He looks like you could throw him against the wall and he would just bounce. Like, I love Merlin so much. But I love Cyndaquil too, and I think I started a replay through, and I'm pretty sure I picked Cyndaquil as my starter, but I don't remember exactly. Oh well, it's fine. Water type from Gen 2, hilariously, and I know there's someone in the chat who's gonna be like, it should be this Pokemon. It is not. It's Wooper. It is not. Wooper is my boy. I absolutely love Wooper. Who doesn't love Wooper? He's literally just a little guy. I absolutely love him. I love Quagsire too, don't get me wrong, but Wooper absolutely has my heart. I love Wooper so much. Wooper is just such a baby. They're so small and they don't have any arms. I think the reason why I absolutely wound up like loving Wooper to death wound up being oh my god. If you're familiar with Pokemon Channel, Pichu and Pichu, or was it Pichu Brothers? I don't remember what the anime is actually called, but I loved when I saw Wooper in that. I'm like, I love them forever. Absolutely armless behavior, yes. Pichu Bros is so good. If you have not seen it, I beg you, look it up. Pichu Bros is so cute. You will not be disappointed. Also, it has a, in hindsight, incredibly cringe, but back in the day, I was like, yo, this is so cool. They have an original song. Which is so funny, but it's a little cringy in hindsight. But as a kid, I was like, I love this, absolutely love this. Also, I'm probably gonna make people really upset right now, but my favorite grass type is just Chikorita. I love Meganium, I love Chikorita line in general, but if I had to pick one of the three, like which one is my favorite, it's Chikorita, 100%. Chikorita's just so small. Also, she's so sassy. In the anime, I'm just like, I love her. I absolutely love her. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we found out that her nature was, like, sassy in reality. I'd believe it. She's a little sassy. I love her so much. Electric types in Gen 2 are really, really good. They're all so good, but you know what? I gotta give it to my boy. I gotta give it to Ampharos. I love Ampharos so much. They're my little banana. Ah, I love Ampharos so much. Okay, I have a funny story about Ampharos too. Of course, because I love Ampharos so much, I took it with me to the Elite Four. And, I forget who I was fighting. It might have been Lance, but I was basically down to, like, my last 3 Pokemon, right? And I'm losing faith. I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm gonna win this. I throw out my Ampharos, and I'm like, I'm ready to lose, right? Like, my Ampharos is kind of underleveled, admittedly, because I haven't been paying much attention to it. And then, right when I think that everything else is just gonna go against me, my Ampharos just starts like sweeping, and I'm like, what is happening? Dummy me forgets that Dragonite is half flying. Oh my god, I think about it so frequently. I'm like, how did I forget that? How do you forget that Dragonite is half flying? But whatever. I'm just like, it's so funny that I was ready to lose, and then my Ampharos comes out and is like, Buddha, 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 Buddha. And I'm like, what is happening? What is happening? But yeah, I love Ampharos. Mareep and Flappy are 2 of my favorite electric types as well, so I absolutely love them so much. I could cry. My favorite ice type in Gen 2 is probably Swinub. I also love Delibird, but Swinub honestly wins out, if only because they're like a little piggy. And I'm like, look at them snuffling around on the ground. It's so cute. Oh my god. What is it? Pokemon Ranch on the Wii? I feel so bad for anyone who hasn't had the opportunity to experience Pokemon Ranch, but Swinub is so cute in Pokemon Ranch because they're literally just like a little guy and they're just like snuffling around and then they go and talk to someone and they're like, they just kind of like move their little nose to communicate and it's so cute. I'm like, oh my god, I love them! They're so cute. Also, fighting type! It's Heracross. Because Heracross is cool. Heracross is also a bug, so that was pretty rad. I was like, bug types are cool. Me sees Heracross. Beetle? I was so excited. I remember seeing Heracross for the first time, and I remember telling my dad about it. My dad was like, that's not cool. And I'm like, he is cool. He's the coolest bug. But yeah, that's the story of how Heracross won my heart. My dad's like, he's not all that cool. I'm like, that's because you suck. Moving chat back over to the left-hand side. Crobat is my favorite poison type. I love Ariados and Spinarak as well, but unfortunately, I don't do very well with spidery imagery, and they invoke both. Like, I love them, but oh, my arachnophobia hates them. So as a result, Crobat wound up being my favorite in the end, because... Also, I think... Because also... Because it has the cute little tiny, like, the two little tiny wings. And I always wondered as a kid, like, how does that help it fly? And, like, I don't get it, right? Because it's just, like, your wings have to be big enough to keep you afloat. And I guess its top two wings are big enough to keep it afloat. And then its bottom wings are just, like, for coolness? Like, I don't know. I thought about it. I'm like, I'm not even sure if we can call it that, but it's cool, I guess. So, for my favorite ground type, despite them actually being here, I'm not going to give it to them because they're gonna take the steel slot. So I'm gonna go ahead and say Quagsire for this, because Quagsire is... I just love Wooperline in general, honestly. They're just so good. They're just so good. My favorite flying type for Gen 2 is really hard, actually, because this entire list is just full of really good Pokemon, right? And I'm just like, some of these Pokemon I used and I'm like, if you were better, I'd love you more, right? Not because I don't love you because you're bad, but because, like, I want to show you that I love you more than this. But if I had to give it to one of these Pokemon, it would probably be Murkrow. Because Murkrow is just a little guy. Also, I just like the fact that its top feathers look like a little hat. And I'm like, I love him. He's so small and good. And he's just like, he radiates that aura of a little bird, but you see them out and they're like, oh, it's a cute little guy. Oh, he's so cute. And it feels like Murkrow knows that it's, like, adorable and tries to, like, be mischievous because it's adorable, but yeah, like, I don't really know how to explain it properly beyond that, but I love Murkrow. Long story short, Murkrow is good. I love them. Psychic type is kind of hard for me to pick because there aren't really many psychic types besides Unknown, but I like Espeon the most because Espeon and Umbreon specifically have that sun and moon thing going on. I'm gonna go ahead and skip ahead to Dark type and tell you my favorite Dark type is Umbreon because you didn't see it coming, I'm sure. But sun and moon themes, the fact that one evolved during the day and the other at night, absolutely floored me as a kid. Back when they first introduced the day-night cycle. And the fact that they had evolutions tied to day-night cycle, I thought that was the coolest thing, right? But it was frustrating for me to evolve N Espeon, not a Espeon, N Espeon. Because unfortunately during the day I would frequently, you know, be at school and then I'd come home and do my work. I think the day changed that. It was either 6 or 7. I want to say it was 7. But, you know, by the time I actually came home from club and finished my homework, it was 7 o'clock. So I never really got an Espeon until the very end of Gold and Silver's life, where a friend like took an Eevee from me, evolved it for me, and traded it back to me, and I was so happy because I'm like, now I have both Embryon and Espeon, and then of course imagine my fucking face when Coliseum. Oh my god. Pokemon Coliseum is definitely one of my favorite spin-off games, purely because it has both Espeon and Umbreon in it, but I love Pokemon Coliseum because of Espeon and Umbreon, and I love them since before Coliseum, but Coliseum just kind of solidified my love, right? Like, I love them so much. And my favorite part about Gen 2's bug types is that they're all good. I love all of these bugs. But if I had to pick one bug, because only one bug can claim this title, right? It's gonna be Fortress. Because Fortress is cool. Actually, is it Fortress? I'm not thinking of the other one, right? The grass steel one? Hold on. Brain? Help? Chat, help? What's the name of the other one? Oh, this Pineco. Okay, Ferrothorn. Okay. I'm like, I don't want to say it's Ferrothorn and it's not Ferrothorn. Okay, it was Fortress. Okay, I was remembering that correctly. Thank God. Ferrothorn is cool. I absolutely love Ferrothorn. And it's pre-evolution, the little seed guy. I love him too. They're so silly. But also, what kills me about them, the four of them in general, is that why do you keep making tanks that are quad weak to fire? Like, what is wrong with you? It's so frustrating. It makes me want to fight somebody, honestly. Rock type. Now, special mention to both Macargo and Corsola, because Macargo and Corsola are very cool. But Tyranitar, though. T-Tar is so cool. Fortress is... Let's not talk about Fortress exploding, okay? It's true, but you shouldn't say it. T-Tar is super cool. I remember when I first saw Larvitar specifically, I fell in love with Larvitar, and I'm like, I need it on my team, and then evolved into Tyranitar, and I was like, oh, he's so cool! But Larvitar is so cute. Larvitar is so cute. He's just a little guy, and then he evolves into an even bigger guy who, quite frankly, is also still just a little guy in reality. Like, on the inside, Tyranitar is still just Larvitar, but bigger, and I love that for him. Ghost type! I mean, there's only one ghost in Gen 2, which is Mischievous. And I'm only gonna put Mischievous in here because I want to put something in that slot. I'm not super fond of Mischievous. I'm gonna be real. Mischievous is cool. Don't get me wrong. I love its name. I think that's cool too. Ow. I hit my finger on the table. That hurt. But Mischievous is just not really my type of Pokemon, if that makes sense. They're definitely a ghost, and as a direct result of that, I do like it because it is a ghost type, but if I had to like tier list all of my favorite ghosts, Mischievous would probably be close to the bottom. Like, I don't think one way or another about Mischievous, in all honesty, so yeah. Unfortunate for Mischievous, but it's the only ghost. Also, like, Kingdra is the only dragon, but at least I can say I do like Kingdra, because I liked the idea of a dragon that was not actually weak to... Well, I mean, it is weak to dragon, but I like the idea of a dragon that is not weak to ice, specifically, because of its water typing. I thought that was really, really cool. Uh-oh, one sec. Oh, I'm dying. Just kidding. Well, I mean, technically, I am kidding. I'm not actually dying, but at the same time, you know, being alive means I'm dying, which is complicated. Anyway, my favorite steel type is Steelix. My favorite steel type is Steelix, because Steelix is cool. Steelix is... tanky. I tried to think of something. I'm like, why do I like Steelix? Steelix is tanky. I mean, yeah, actually, that's the long and short of it. Steelix has a lot of HP. It's very tanky. That's about it, really. I really like I mean, I like Pokemon that are slow but hit really hard, and Steelix is unfortunately not a part of that category, but at the same time, I like Steelix. Also, its Mega is fucking rad. Its Mega is so cool. It is mind-bogglingly cool, actually. I was like, why give Steelix a Mega? Two, why is it so cool? I thought I was the only one in the world who liked Steelix. Not gonna lie. I was just like, okay, that's rad for me, and only me, I guess. Fairy types in Gen 2. I mean, this one's easy for me, personally. I like Cleffa. Cleffa's baby. And they're baby of my favorite fairy, as it was. And by the way, have you noticed that Cleffa is literally just a triangle? They're just like a little triangle. I love that for them. Very good. My favorite starter is probably Meganium. I think Meganium is really cool. The only reason I'm not putting Chikorita back in this slot is because Meganium, design-wise, is like so cool to me. I love Meganium's flower the most. Yeah, it's shaped like a little star, but I just like thinking about it like it's just a little triangle. If you took the little horns off, it would just be a little triangle, and I think that's so good. It's very baby. Also, like for Cleffa specifically, you never really get to see it in its like star shape, because like I don't know if you just can't move them or whatever. And I always thought they were ears, right? Because they're kind of ears like on a Clefairy. They're kind of like Banu ears, which I guess is the point. But they never like really moved. So I thought maybe they couldn't move them, and as a result, they couldn't really be star shaped. So I always assumed that like their arms were supposed to be the other points, but I don't know. Who knows? Cleffa is just really good, and I just love Cleffa a lot. Gimmick form for Gen 2. Now see, this is where we have some really good Mega forms, right? So you got Mega Ampharos, who's just Fabio, I guess, and we have Mega Steelix that we talked about earlier. Mega Houndoom, which looks like it's straight out of like Mad Max or something. And then Tyranitar kind of looks like one of those trypophobia type inducing monsters. And my husband in chat says there's only one right answer. My answer is the fact that it's definitely Ampharos. If I have to go through the megas that I absolutely enjoy as a whole, Mega Ampharos I think is probably my favorite. My husband is strongly biased, but Ampharos in general as a Pokemon is just near and dear to my heart, purely because I just love Ampharos as a whole. I love sheep in general too. Hilariously, and I'm probably going to talk more about my rebranding ideas on Saturday during the anniversary stream, but I was actually going to initially be as sheep, like for my online persona, and then I got bunnied, and now I'm a bunny girl for the rest of my life. That's just kind of how life is, you know? Sometimes you just get turned into a bunny girl. Ow. I keep hitting my hand on the table. And you know, life finds a way, I guess. Favorite legendary? I mean, there's only one answer, in my opinion. It's Lugia. Lugia is just... I love Lugia. What can I really say? My first game was Silver. I got Soul Silver when it came out. Pokemon 2000. Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness. Lugia is just very good in general. And in all honesty, I gotta say, like, the Shadow Lugias, this, like, coloration is so good. So good. I really wish that we could, like, I know that you could transfer your Shadow Lugia, but, like, I wish that its shiny wasn't pink. Ho-Oh is, I mean, Ho-Oh is okay. I think shiny Ho-Oh is cool, but basic Ho-Oh is just... Basic Ho-Oh, and I'm saying this as a rainbow-themed VTuber, is literally just a gay agenda, honestly. And I love that for him. He's busy. you know, so Lugia on the other hand is just sleeping underwater for some reason, I guess. Shrugs. I honestly I love that for both of them. I love that for both of them. Also, can we talk about the freaking baby Lugia in the what was it, the Orange Islands anime? I the baby Lugia made me think that you could actually breed legendaries and you can't, and I was so mad because I'm like, I want to see baby Lugia in game. But I mean, baby Lugia is just a regular Lugia, so whatever. Regular Lugia, but small. Small Lugia. Oh, that reminds me. Oh, Google Chrome, are you okay? Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Hold on, chat. I'm gonna BRB really quick. I'm gonna tap the tap the sign. Okay. Thanks, YouTube. By the way, that's what we're listening to, just in case you wanted to know. Anyway, um, what is that? What is it? Oh, Pixelmon. Pixelmon. You could get like really big versions and really small versions of Pokemon, right? I got one of the tiniest possible Lugias as my legendary on a server my friend was hosting. And it was so small. And the funniest thing is, because it's half flying, right? You can fly on flying types without needing like fly or anything like that. And it was so funny flying on this very small Lugia. Because the Lugia is barely bigger than like my legs. And it was so funny. Like, I forget, a friend of mine wound up having a recording of it. I think I've lost it now though, but because that was a few years ago now, but it was so funny. Because I'm literally just like, I'm coming, I'm on my way. And he's like, okay, I'm waiting in town for you. And then there's like a clip of me coming in from the off camera, and then it's just on this very small Lugia. And he's like, what the hell is that? And I like, get off the Lugia. He's like, Lugia? Lugia? And I'm like, the smallest Lugia possible. I love Lugia so much though. But I was just like, he's literally just baby. Alright, let's move on to Gen 3. Before I start with Gen 3, I just want to say I'm not fond of Gen 3 is in general. I played Ruby and I played Emerald. Would I experience Gen 3 again? Specifically RSE? If I can avoid it, I will. So I'm already sorry if your favorite generation is 3, but I don't have many good things to say about Gen 3. What I can say that's positive is that I spent a lot of time in the 999 capped hours I spent in my Ruby cartridge just listening to the music. Gen 3 has absolutely amazing music, but when it comes to battle mechanics, it was just a little frustrating, I guess I can say. But one of my favorite normal types is in Gen 3. In fact, I would call it probably by far my favorite normal type. And that's Swablu. Swablu is very good. I love Swablu because it has little clouds for wings. It's like a little sphere, right? And I love Swablu in Gen 9. Where you come across a Swablu and the Swablu's like, oh, trainer. And they're so excited to see you. It's so cute. I have a shiny Swablu and I have two shiny Altarias because I just love Swablu so much. But Swablu is baby. I love Swablu so much. Swablu single-handedly saved Gen 3 for me, in all honesty. I love I love baby Swablu. I don't love Gen 3, but I love Swablu, and that's close enough for me, right? My favorite fire type from Gen 3 is Torkoal. I just think Torkoal is cool. I love turtles, as evidenced by my favorite starter. But Torkoal is so cool. I liked the concept of it being a turtle, or rather, it's a tortoise specifically, and a volcano. And I'm like, yes, we have water turtle, we have volcano turtle. Now I need jungle turtle, and we'll be complete. Just give me a grass type turtle starter. I'm ready. Or give me a grass type turtle in general. I'm ready. I mean, I wish I could technically count Applin, but or not Applin. Oh my god. There's Flapple and then there is the shield version. I forget what it's called. But I can't count them because they're not actually a turtle. But they're a turtle in my heart, so it counts, I guess. I love them too, by the way. They're not my favorite from that gen, but they're very good. I just like turtles, okay? Turtles are cool. Now, Gen 3 has so many good water types, and this was my least favorite choice to consider, right? But we all know, by technicality, there are only like 3 answers on this amazing list of Pokemon, right? My favorite Gen 3 water type, however, is Wailord. I absolutely love Wailord. I loved Wailord as a concept. I love the fact that if you've played new Pokemon Snap, there's like a level where you go through like beach, you're like going through the ocean, and first you're on top of the ocean, right? And you get to meet some Pokemon that are like on the beaches and all that cool stuff. And one of the Pokemon you get to see is Wailord. There's only one, right? This Wailord, and it's so cool the way it comes out of the water. It breaches the water, and of course it's like nose first. So it breaches the water, it comes up, and it lands on top of the water, and it creates this big wave, right? And then all you can really see of the Wailord is like inside as you're going to the front of the Wailord, and just because you're distracted, right? Because you're like, whoa, that was so cool. If you're not paying attention, you'll miss the fact that there are 3 more Wailords breaching the water that are nearby, but like in the background, right? And that picture itself is also worth a lot because I mean, it's 3 of them and they're all doing the same thing. And it counts as a special pose, which I thought was really cool too. But the highest ranked picture, the highest points picture you can get is of the initial Wailord breaching. Which is funny, because it's not taking a picture of its face. But it was worth like 16,000 points. And I'm like, huh? Well, I took a picture of the Wailord when you can take a picture of it and it notices you and it's like, hi, friend! And it's so happy. It looks like it's so happy to see you. And it's a 3-star picture, and I'm just like, okay. But besides that, Wailord is my favorite purely because, like, for the longest time, it wound up being the biggest possible, like, Pokemon ever. And I just thought it was funny to imagine, like, if the world had been flooded like it is in Sapphire or in Emerald, because that counts too. If you're just surfing around on this 44-foot long, like, whale. It's not even like a boat. It's just a whale. A giant whale. It was just so funny to me. I also like imagining, like, the idea of, like, Wailord eating. Just opens its mouth and a bunch of Pokemon end up in its mouth because it's trying to eat. And then I was just, like, imagining the Wailord, like, spitting out all of the Pokemon that got in there. It's like, what are you guys doing? I just love that concept a lot. Wailord is just so good. The only reason why I'm so frustrated with Wailord is because I wanted to use one in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon and it takes up 2 slots. Or, no, I think it was 3. So you can even bring your partner with you. And I was just like, man. My favorite grass type in Gen 3 is actually hard to pick. I'm not gonna lie. Gen 3 actually had some pretty cracked grass types as well. But I like Cacnea the most. The Cacnea is just very small. And is a cactus. Also, I thought as a kid that the little crown on its head was just because it was the best grass type, bar none. And I'm like, I love that for you. uh, I just thought he was so cute. It was just like they're just little kings and queens, and they're running around in the desert, and they're just like a little monarchy. And I love that for you. I just thought it was so cute as a kid. I'm just like they're so happy. They're just like a little cactus monarchy. My favorite electric type is easy to pick. It's Manectric, honestly. Manectric's Mega made me really upset. It's just a big fucking lightning bolt. But like I guess like what else would you have done with it? In all honesty, I can't really imagine what I would do with Manectric if trying to give it a different design, in all honesty, so I guess I shouldn't sit and say it's bad, but Manectric honestly just kind of frustrates me. I thought for sure it was gonna be like Houndour Houndoom, and it was just gonna be absolutely like cracked. It's okay, I guess, but I'm pretty sure Raichu is in Gen 3, so I didn't even use my Manectric because the electric rat exists. Unfortunately for electric dog, but I still like Manectric a lot. I think Manectric is really cool. I just like the idea of it kind of looks like a cross between like a crown, its mane, right? It looks like a cross between a crown and like a trident, and I thought that was so cool as a kid. I'm like, that's it's Kanpeki. It's absolutely wonderful. I love it so much. But at the same time, I'm just like, it's a little guy. He's just a dog. Which I guess for all the dog Pokemon, you can literally say I like them because they're dog, because in all honesty, yes. A dog Pokemon exists, I love them. There's no exception. They may not be my favorite, but I love them, right? Because they're just so good. Favorite ice type in Gen 3 is Regice. 100% Regice. I think Regice is so stupid. But as someone who like regularly, I think it was around this time I started eating like ice cubes straight out of our ice cube maker, and I just thought the idea of me eating Regice was the funniest shit. I don't know why. But I'm just like, if I found Regice in my freezer, I'd just eat him. My grandmother was like, why? Because he's just ice. Also, like, Regice I think was the start of me not hating the ice type as like in general, because I didn't really like using ice types until I caught Regice, and I was like, I just want to see what he can do. So I taught him. I don't know if he came with that. I'm pretty sure he came with Ice Beam. I don't remember, but I either taught it to him or he came with it. And I remember using Ice Beam one time, and I was like, "Yo." Fun fact: I have never actually used like a legendary on my main team for Pokemon. I only use the legendaries after I'm done with everything. So yeah, the first time I used the legendary on a team before the E4 was Regice. And I was like, huh. Interesting. But yeah, I like Regice. Regice is cool. I don't know why as a kid I wanted to eat him, other than the fact that he's made of ice and I like eating ice, but I try not to think about it too hard, right? Favorite fighting type. My favorite fighting type is probably Hariyama. Like, overall, I think Hariyama is really cool in general. Hariyama is just... I love the fact that they're based on a sumo wrestler. That's so cool. And then we got... Oh, I don't want to say it's Iron... Is it Iron Fist? Iron Palm? Or Iron Hand? I don't remember. But we got the Paradox version of Hariyama, and I'm like, yo, he's so cool. He's just a little digital guy now. That's so cool. But I like him a lot, in all honesty. I think Hariyama is really cool. I remember using one on my team, And I was always worried that he would end up being kind of like outclassed eventually. But I mean, I guess technically Hariyama in general did get outclassed. And then they're like, what if we made Hariyama but cooler? And I'm like, I'm down. I'll plug him in at night so he'll charge. Also, if you haven't beaten Violet yet or haven't been to Area Zero yet, seeing them like the Paradox version sleeping is so cute. They're just standing and they have their hands in front of them and they're just like dead. It's so funny. I love them so much. My favorite poison type in Gen 3 is actually really easy. I love Rosalia. Rosalia is so cool. I thought it was really cute that we had like a Pokemon whose hands are just like flowers. And also I think it's a gif that someone did on Twitter of the Budew line, just kind of like Budew like pulls out a gun and Rosalia has guns and the Rosaria comes out and pulls like a bunch, like all of its flowers are guns and it just like it's just firing at you. I'm like, that's so cool. But like in all honesty, I liked Rosalia a lot. It kind of sucked in Gen 3. Of course, as I'm sure many people who have played all of the Pokemon games know, Roserade is absolutely cracked. So it changed my mind about Rosalia, because at first I was just like, Rosalia is good, but I'm like, I don't really see a point to like keeping it on my team. And then it got Roserade and I'm like, yo yo, like Gen 4 brought a lot of really good evolutions for Pokemon that like you use one time or two times and we're just like, yeah, it's okay, I guess. And then some Pokemon that like I brought with me to the E4 and I'm just like, I probably won't use this Pokemon again. And then we'll get to them because they're coming up soon, but that Pokemon specifically, like, oh my god. My favorite ground type is Claydol. I hovered Flygon because I thought for sure someone was gonna assume Flygon. You're right! You're absolutely right! So I'm actually gonna change it. My favorite psychic type is actually Claydol. But I'm just gonna say, between Flygon and Claydol, my team was like half weak to ice, and I was like, please don't have an ice type trainer. Oh no! Oh. Oh no! Absolutely terrible. I was like, I have so many weaknesses to ice. Please don't throw me against an ice type trainer. Oh, okay. That's entirely fair. But it's okay. That's what I had my Hariyama for anyway, so whatever, right? Flying type. I'm gonna give this to Pelipper. Altaria, yes, absolutely. Love Altaria so much. But Pelipper? Oh my god, Pelipper getting Drizzle absolutely changed my life. So good. I love Pelipper so much. Its quad weakness to electricity saddens me. Especially when it comes to Drizzle and you just get hit by thunder and you're like, yeah, I kind of asked for that, actually. Yeah. But Pelipper is so good. I've used the Pelipper on every team where Pelipper was available since Gen 3. I love Pelipper so much. Like, how do I describe how much I love Pelipper? I don't. It's immense. Also, I at one point was naming my Pokemon after memes, and one of my best local friends, literally is just like, if you name your Pelipper Pellistorm, I'm gonna have to come to your house and shank you, like, in the side, in the kidney. I'm going to kill you. I'm like, that's entirely fair. I mean, I will admit that Pellistorm is probably my most worn out Game Grumps meme, because I make references to Game Grumps a lot, but like he was so serious too. Like this man, he is almost never serious, and then he's just like, listen, if you name your fucking Pelipper Pellistorm, I'm gonna kill you in your sleep. And I'm like, okay, understandable, have a nice night. It was so funny. Claydol. I absolutely love Claydol because I thought it was cool that, like, kind of no matter how you look at it, right? Because sometimes if you spin it, and like in Pokemon Ranch, going back to Pokemon Ranch, it would frequently, like when it's idling, its idle animation was just kind of rotating in place. I thought it was so cool that Claydol just kind of looks the same, and the only way you can know if it's from front or back is if you know what its front and back look like, and even then it's like identical if I'm remembering correctly. And I thought, oh, it's like, it is one of the perfect, like, I don't want to say prey, but like it's I like this type of pattern in prey animals where they kind of try to look like their environment or try to confuse their predators, and Claydol has that aura like perfectly, and he kind of like tingles the brain. Also, I had a Claydol toy. It was like a little plastic keychain, I think, and you could set it on its head and then spin it like a top, and that's also very cool. Baltoy aside, because Baltoy can do the same thing. I thought it was funny that Claydol could also do it. Baltoy is also one of my favorite Pokemon. And then my favorite character, my favorite trainer character in the entire series is a Claydol as his partner, and I'm like, it was destiny. It was literally destiny. Did I decide this character? I might have. I did not. I wish. He's so adorable. I love Buck so much. But like, when I saw that his partner Pokemon was Claydol, I'm like, oh my god, I think I'm taking actual psychological damage. It was so funny and cool, honestly. My favorite bug in Gen 3 is so hard to pick because so many good bugs. Look at this list of bug. They're all good, but we all know. We all know it's Shedinja. Shedinja is he's my favorite. My favorite little guy. My favorite little bug guy. And, okay, I can't say my favorite little bug guy because I like most bugs in this series. But Shedinja is so funny because I loved finding out how Wonder Guard worked, like, as a kid, because I didn't quite understand. I'm like, he only has 1 HP, and I guess if you don't hit him with a super effective move, that means you can't kill it at all. But, like, that was just, like, a concept in my mind. And then you realize how many Pokemon can't actually do anything about Shedinja. And I was just like, that's so cool. And that's basically the long and short of why Shedinja is my favorite bug. Like, he's just so good. And I'm like, there's no bug that will ever be better than Shedinja. There are bugs that are better than Shedinja, but you get it. I love them so much. Shedinja is so good. Rock types are also so hard in this generation. Look at all of these good rock types. The only issue is that 2 of these rock types are actually really bad. And in reality, there's 3 of them, which makes me very upset. Because I love all of the rock types in this generation. I'm gonna put that on the table. Every single rock you see in this window, I love them, right? But I gotta give it to my favorite actual Scrimblow, who is not Scrimblow size, Lyron. I love Lyron so much. If only because it has that perfect combination of like the small baby aura of Aron and the cool aggressiveness that Aggron brings, right? Like, Lyron is the perfect combination of those two. Basically, I feel like they designed Aron and Aggron and were like, okay, we need something to go between these. And they're like, well, why don't we combine them somehow? And that's how Lyron came out. I just think Lyron is so absolutely cool. I like the fact that unlike Aron, who's like mostly steel, he's already starting to grow into his kind of like the black like sinewy looking body it has like under its steel plating. I like the fact that it kind of looks like an armadillo as well with the plating instead of just kind of like a little shield, right? Because I thought that Aron as a design was so cute. Like, it's just kind of, it's a very, I mean, it's not like all that tanky because it is a baby Pokemon, but like if you understand what I mean, he's just kind of like a little tanky like turtle type guy, and I thought he was so cute. And then he evolved into Lyron, and he has the little steel claws, the little steel bands around his wrists and his ankles, quote unquote. And I'm like, what is this? I didn't think I could love Auron more, and then it evolved into Lyron, and I'm like, oh my god! And then of course Aggron is so cool. He's so strong looking. He's big. He's kind of aggressive. He has that cool design about him. He has that holy coolness factor about him, right? Like, and I think Aggron as a design, I think he's cute, right? Because he came from Lyron, but he doesn't really have any more of that cuteness that Auron has, right? That's why I say that Lyron is the best of the line, because it has that perfect combination of Auron's small cuteness and Aggron's cool aggressiveness. Boom, Lyron. And I'm just like, I love Lyron, okay? That's the long and short of how much I love Lyron. I'm sorry, but that's what the stream is about. It's about me gushing about my favorite Pokemon. Speaking of gushing about my favorite Pokemon, can we talk about Dusclops for a bit? And as a result, sniffle sniffle in the background, Dusk Noir, who I'm just gonna go ahead and skip ahead and tell you that Dusk Noir is definitely one of my favorite ghost types of Gen 4. It is unfortunately not my favorite ghost type because, of course, there is the legendary I'm hovering, right? Giratina is probably my favorite legendary. We'll talk about Giratina when we get there. Dusknoir was the evolution I was not expecting to get in Gen 4. As I mentioned earlier, Gen 4 brought us a lot of really good evolutions, right? And I loved Dusclops as it was, but it felt final, right? Like, it kind of had that aura about it that just basically said that this is the last evolution of this Pokemon. I didn't expect to get Dusknoir. And Dusknoir as a design evolving from Dusclops is so cool. It just kind of looks like, forgive me, I need to sniffle one sec. Oh, okay. I'm dying a little bit, but I'm okay. It kind of feels like Dusclops kind of like turned itself kind of inside out, if that makes sense. And it's just kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It just looks so cool. At the same time, it feels sort of, and I love this for Dusknoir. It seems so aggressive. Also, yes, let me get the hydration check. I did actually stretch just now before I sniffled, but oh my god, I'm getting so worked up. I'm actually getting hot. Let me turn the fan on too. But like, Dusknoir is so fucking cool as an evolution for Dusclops. I cannot stress how excited I was when I first saw Dusknoir and found out that it was an evolution for Dusclops. I was so fucking excited. I'm like, you cannot be serious. I remember seeing Yanmega and Licky Licky, and I'm like, these Pokemon are so freaking cool. Magnezone is, oh my god. We'll get back to Magnezone, I swear. I love Magnezone so much, but Dusknoir was when I'm like, ghost types are winning right now. And like, I could say the same thing for Miss Magius as well. No matter how you, Miss Magius, however you pronounce it, right? I thought it was so cool that Gen 4 was like, you know, these Pokemon that have kind of been like falling behind, what if we gave them evolutions? And I thought that was so cool. I wish I could explain to you guys how much I love the progression for some of those Pokemon that did get evolutions. Yanmega is so fucking rad. Probopass is so cool. Licky Licky, as weird as it looks, I loved it because I thought Licky Licky in design was so like funny coming from Lickitung, because like Lickitung is just kind of like this chubby little guy. He's just kind of got this really long tongue, and like he likes to eat a lot. And they're like, what if we made him friend-shaped? And I'm like, to me, he was already friend-shaped. But I love him, thank you. I just, I don't know how to explain my excitement for Gen 4. There's a reason why Gen 4 is my favorite. But, my favorite ghost non-legendary from 4 is probably someone we're going to discuss when we actually get to this area. But I cannot stress how much I can't express and stress how much I love Dusknoir and Dusclops, and how much they as Pokemon, like using them on a team and using them when they became relevant, again with Dusknoir, because I had to put a Dusknoir on my team, right? So I had a Dusclops on my team for Emerald, and I'm like, I love this Pokemon. Like, Ghost as a type is just, oh my god. Let's move on though. I can talk forever about Gen 4, but we'll get there. My favorite dragon is pretty easy, even though in all honesty Gen 3 has a lot of really good dragons. My favorite dragon is of course Altaria, because Altaria is just very good. Also, hold on, Buffy has to go outside. She at first she didn't want to go, but Altaria is just very good, right? Evolved form of Swablu, got the full cloud going on. I love the little feet sticking out of their cloud. Also, forgive me, my arm was starting to get itchy, so I decided to scratch it. But I just absolutely love Altaria. Altaria is so good. I also like the little antennae, I guess. I'm like, what do you call them that are coming out of its head? It's so cute. Also, I like I mentioned their little feet, but their little feet their little feet are so good. It just got little baby feet coming out of the cloud. I'm just like, that's so cute. Like, there are a lot of good dragons in Gen 3, but honestly, Altaria has always been my favorite of the dragons from Gen 3. Of course, there's Flygon, who's very cool. We got Rayquaza, who's absolutely rad. Salamence, that went from a little baby who wanted to fly to a baby that could actually fly. Like, that's so rad. But Altaria is good. Dark types, I wasn't really fond of the dark types with this gen, in all honesty. I mean, Mighty Inna is a dog, so of course we love the dog. But if I had to pick one of these dark types, it's Crawdaunt. For some reason, I just really like Crawdaunt. I like the star on its head the most. I'm not gonna lie. But I just like the idea of a lobster that just wants to fight you. And in all honesty, I want to see a Crawdaunt and a Krabby, like, fight each other. I'm pretty sure Crawdaunt would win, but, like, I want to see it. I want to see them throw hands. My favorite steel type from 3, it's weird. It's weird, but I like Beldum. Beldum is just kind of funny looking. But I like its progression into Metagross. It's very cool. It's like like, as you can see, it gets like the extra magnets, and now it has like 2 of the Beldums together, and then they become Metang. And then there's like 4 Beldums and they become Metagross. That's so cool. But I'm like, Beldum in general is just, Beldum is baby. I just love them. I just love the idea of also like sticking a Beldum to my fridge and just leaving it there, and it can't like escape the fridge because it's a magnet. But that's mean but true. My favorite fairy is baby Azurill. Azurill is very baby. I've never liked Gardevoir. I've never liked Gardevoir, and I never liked Mawile either, so that kind of made the choice really easy, didn't it? My favorite starter from Gen 3 is of course Mudkip, because honestly, it's just, besides the you like Mudkip's meme, I just think Mudkip is really cute. I started with Torchic, but I like all 3 of the baby starters in Gen 3. It was really hard for me to pick, but I wound up picking on what their second form wound up looking like, and I liked Combuskin more than the other 2. So, I mean, as someone whose first Pokemon Mystery Dungeon was Sky, I wound up liking Grovyle a lot more, of course. But, like, Combuskin was just cooler to me in general, right? And I like Marshtomp too, don't get me wrong, but, like, Mudkip was just better, a stronger design in my opinion. And I don't like Swampert all that much design-wise. Sceptile was cool, though. But Blaziken was probably my favorite in terms of, like, third form. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but Mudkip is just cute. And like I said, if they're a little guy, chances of me liking them are incredibly high. My favorite gimmick form from Gen 3 is really hard because I love Mega Altaria. I love the fact that it just becomes a giant cloud. But I also like Mega Metagross because like instead of being passive like its normal sprite, now it's in your face. It's getting ready to fight you, right? And I think that's so cool. Then of course there's, I forget what they're called. What? I don't remember what these three are called, but I like all three of these, right? And I thought they're all so cool. But unfortunately, there can only be one going into this category. And when I pick, right, it's not that I don't like any of these others, right? Because with the exception of probably Sharpedo and Manectric, all of these are really cool in concept. But I really liked Absol's Mega the most out of the Megas we got for Gen 3 because I just thought it was cool that it's supposed to be like a harbinger of omen, right? But then it gets this kind of angelic design that's like, I'm not an enemy. And that struck me so deeply as a kid. I'm just like, wow. I say as a kid, I think I was in my 20s when Absol got its Mega, but I hope you get my point, right? It struck me to my core, because Absol is not necessarily bad, but because of its Dex entry, like, it's treated like it's bad news. But an Omen can be positive or negative. And just because you saw an Absol doesn't mean that something terrible is gonna happen, right? A Pokemon's a Pokemon's a Pokemon. And life just kind of happens to you regardless of whether or not a Pokemon walked in front of you or whatever. It's kind of like the Black Cat, like, theorem, I guess I could say. But, like, it's just the fact that I hate things that are associated with bad luck, right? Because I've always felt that karma is a circle, no matter what it is you're trying to do. And the fact that they just associate Absol with negative karma just kind of made me really upset as a kid when I was first introduced to Absol as a Pokemon. And then when it got its Mega, I'm like, this is exactly what I meant. Like, Absol is not bad. And I loved that it got this Mega design because I just kind of reinforced my feelings for Absol. I'm just like, Absol's not bad. So, my favorite legendary from Gen 3 is pretty easy, actually, because it's Rayquaza. Why, I can't really explain, other than the fact that I just like long noodle, like I said with Dragonair, right? It's a good design, in my opinion. Like, and Rayquaza is kind of like the longest possible noodle that you can get, right? And it's also a dragon, which I think is funny because it's like an Eastern dragon, right? And then it got the cool primeval form or whatever. This Rayquaza. What is it? Is it called just Mega Rayquaza? I don't know, but it's just this Rayquaza. This Rayquaza is so cool. Hold on, let me lean over. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you can't see. But this Rayquaza right here is so cool, and I'm like, yeah. Honestly, it's just Rayquaza just kind of makes brain go burr. I'm not gonna lie. Rayquaza is just really cool. Now it's time to move chat back to the right side because we're gonna get started on Generation 4, which is my favorite gen, as I've already said. Normal type is kind of hard for me, in all honesty, because I spend too much time on the internet. I'm unfortunately terminally online because I have nothing else to do with my life. Oh, it's Mega Rayquaza and Prime whatever. Okay. Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon. It's stupid that they don't call him Primal Rayquaza, but whatever. But due to me being Prime, I mean, do we really want a Prime Min? Like, a Prime Min just has a lot of energy and, like, no shields or no health. Anyway, Warframe over. Well, Milk, I was gonna say I would expect Milky to be able to chime in on this because he would know more about it than I do. But yeah, thank you, Milky. It's secretly in my heart, it's primal. Shh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I would give all my crystals to the Rayquaza as one should, honestly. But due to me being terminally online, my favorite normal type is no longer my favorite normal type, as you might imagine. As a result, I don't really have a favorite normal type for Gen 4. But if I absolutely had to pick one, it would probably be Porygon Z, because I just think Porygon Z is really funny looking. Also, I like the fact that why did Porygon need another Evolution 1? 2, I think it's cool that it got one in the first place. Like I mentioned before, Generation 4 bringing us a lot of new evolutions just out of nowhere was really cool. Porygon Z was another one. But like, I just like the fact that Porygon Z is just like, he's causing problems on purpose. And I love that for him, honestly. My favorite fire type is actually really hard because as you can see, Gen 4 only gave us 6. And this was an issue, as I'm sure many people will remember in Diamond and Pearl, where our fire type E4 man, he only had like 2 fire types. Was it 3? Something like that. I don't remember. But Lamau. Google. Thank you. If I had to pick one of these 6, it would probably be Oven Rotom, because I just think it's funny. He's just a funny little guy, honestly. He's an oven and he can make my toast for me, or he can broil me a steak, and I think that's cool. My favorite water type in Gen 4 is kind of hard because I started with Piplup, and as a result I have an immense love for Empoleon, right? But I mean, if I had to pick one of these, right, it's probably Gastrodon. Though the problem is that it has 2 different Gastrodons, right? I don't really have a preference for Gastrodon. I'm just gonna put the blue one because the blue one is cute. I like, oh my god, what is its pre-evolved form? Gastrodon? Oh no, I don't remember its name. But I like the baby Gastrodon too. It's very cute. But if I had to pick a baby Gastrodon, I like the pink one because it has the cute little like coral looking thing on its head, which I think is really silly. But I like blue Gastrodon. And I like pink Gastrodon too. I think they're both really cool. Water ground I think is a silly type, silly fun type, even though it's quad weak to grass, which is unfortunate. But I mean, come on. Speaking of grass turtle, though, Torterra was probably my favorite part about Pokemon as a whole, because as a kid, I was, like I mentioned, I wanted a turtle of like every type, and then I got Torkoal, and I'm like, yes, more turtle, and then they gave me Torterra, and I'm like, oh, and then finding out that it's based on the world turtle, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I also really like the tree on its back and how fan artists often depict like seasonal Torterra. I just think that's so cool. I also love Turtwig. I'm not super fond of Grotle. I don't dislike Grotle, don't get me wrong, but like Torterra is just so cool. I also really like its typing. I think its typing is really rad too. But that fills me with long, and we have things that I need to get into later down the line, and I still have like 4 generations to do, so how about I just, you know, move on. My favorite electric type is Luxray. Like, long story short, story long, Luxray is so good. I absolutely love Luxray. I wish Luxray were half dark. I'm sure most people wish that Luxray was half dark. I don't know why Luxray isn't half dark, but whatever. also I'm not sure if I still kept the highlight or not, but as I'm sure those who have been around for a while will know, Luxray literally won me Brilliant Diamond. So hilariously, my Luxray and Diamond wound up doing the same thing. It was basically just a repeat of what happened. But yeah, I love Luxray, and in all honesty, so should you. My favorite Luxray of the two like forms, I think I like female Luxray the most. Not because male Luxray isn't cool or whatever. I just like the shorter mane. In all honesty, I just think it's cuter. But the big mane is also really cute. Good. Anyway, we're moving on. My favorite ice type is Abomasnow. I wish Abomasnow was better. And Abomasnow helped me appreciate ice types more, but in all honesty, it's so frustrating for me because Abomasnow is weak to fire and it's quad weak to fire at that, and it's so slow. Like, I don't know. I just really wish that I could do something for Abomasnow, right? But that's why I like pairing it with my favorite Pokemon, because my favorite Pokemon gets Trick Room. Haha. Anyway, my favorite fighting type in Gen 4, I don't really have one, but I like Riolu, if only for the fact that I used to have a Riolu like a phone charm keychain, a a phone charm keychain. I mean, they're like a phone charm. I realize that they've gone out of style now because of smartphones and all that cool stuff, but it used to be a little thing with a kind of thin tie, and you could just kind of slot it into a slot and then put the tie around the charm itself and then pull it tight so that way it was on. But the 3DS, I don't how many people even have a 3DS anymore physically, but like the 3DS actually has a slot for one of these. And I had a Riolu one that I put on my SP back when Diamond and Pearl first like came out. There was like a promotion going on at one of the stores where I got my Diamond, and where you could they gave you 3 blind bags and you could open them up, and basically it was like a pass down thing where you keep the one you like the most and give the other 2 to other people. But nobody wanted my other 2, which wound up being dang, I forget. I just remember that people didn't want them, so I kept all 3 and then I gave them to my friends instead. But I kept the Riolu one because I just thought Rielu's design was really cute and I really liked its tail. And then at one point his little arm broke off, and I kept trying to get it back on with super glue, but it wouldn't stay. So I wound up throwing the charm away, which made me really upset. But I grew attached to Riolu as a result of that and that only. Going back to my favorite poison type, we already talked about it. It's Roserade. Roserade is so good. Roserade is the glow up that Roselia needed. I thought Roserade was the perfect addition to the line, other than like Budew, and Budew is like super cute, right? He's got the little baby aura about him, right? But absolutely gotta say, Roserade is definitely my favorite poison type. The only reason I didn't pick it for my favorite grass type is because I like Totera more. That's literally the only reason. Like, other than that, Roserade being grass poison could easily go in both of these slots. So, you know. Ground type. This is actually really hard for me, in all honesty, because I love Hippoline. Hippoline is so good. I've never really liked the fact that they have gender differences. I always thought that was silly, but it kind of feels like they were just like, well, I like both of these colorations, so why don't we just add them both? And this is the generation of, gender differences. But my favorite ground type is Gible. I like Gible, and specifically Gible, because he's just a little round guy. He's just a little round guy, and I love that for him. Also, I liked Gible in the anime a lot too. Also, I love in Pokemon Legends Arceus when Gible just tries to like assault you. It's just so cute. And I'm like, you're so small. You're so small. Why are you trying to eat me? I also just imagine like Gibble really likes you, and Gibble just kind of like tries to eat your arm forever because they love you so much and they don't know how to express their love. So they just kind of nom on your arm or your whole hand or something. You're just like, okay, baby. You just let them do it. It's not like they're trying to hurt you, and obviously they probably don't hurt you because they're just like, I love you so much. They just chomp on you gently. I just like that for Gibble. It's very good. Flying types in Gen 4. Holy shit. The only reason this is so hard for me personally is because there are so many good flying types, in all honesty. And as a result, it's kind of difficult for me to pick, but if I have to pick a flying type because I want to put something else in its slot, it's Drifblim, for sure. I love Drifblim's design. I love Drifloon. I wound up doing a project on the effects of inflation in American history. So, because Generation 4 came out around the time I was in high school, and for my government class, I did this project, and I wound up using Drifloon as the image of a balloon, and I wound up getting an A+ because my teacher didn't realize it was a Pokemon design. And then when I explained to him that it was a Pokemon, he's like, "Oh, I like that it's a little character," and I'm like, "Oh, it's a Pokemon called Drifloon," and he's just like, "Okay, that's actually really cool." He's like, "I didn't know this is a Pokemon." I was like, "Yeah, it's from the newest game." But like, I made Drifloon like the main focus, and I was of course doing this out of like construction paper, adding it to like a blue background to show that like it's a balloon in the sky or whatever. But I had like several Drifblim on this poster as well, and like they were of course like kind of small because I'm like, I don't want them to be in like the foreground or whatever, because the whole point is that the Drifloon is part of the whole thing. But I wound up getting an A. And I still think about that from time to time. Drifloon helped me get an A in government. Thank you, Drifloon. You guys are goated. Absolutely goated. Balloon is goated. Who knew? My favorite psychic type in Gen 4 is also kind of difficult because there just aren't that many of them. But if I had to pick one, Bronzong for sure. I wound up getting a love for Bronzong in Mystery Dungeon as well. It's just like solidified my love of Bronzong. But I just like the fact that it's a bell. And it kind of reminded me of was it on? It's one of the towers in Johto, but it has like a giant bell on it, and it just I'm like, what if that bell is actually just a Bronzong? I remember I'm like, oh, if we get remakes of Silver and Gold, it would be funny if they were like, yeah, the bell is actually a Bronzong. They didn't do it, but I thought it would be really funny if they did. I kind of wanted it to be a Bronzong really bad. But Bronzong is really cool. I also really liked Bronzong in the only Ranger game I played is Shadows of Almia. Bell Tower. Sorry. Yes, Bell Tower. I forgot it was called Bell Tower. One brain cell and it doesn't work, right? But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was funny if they should just replace it. Just who's gonna? I mean, everyone's gonna know, but who's gonna know, right? Oh, my girls are coming in. 1 second. I had to confirm that I was keeping the small one. I am keeping the small one. She's mine now forever. Unfortunately for her. But yeah, I don't know why I'm so hung up on having the bell on Bell Tower be replaced by a Bronzong, but whatever. My favorite bug? Oh, we all know the best bug in the series, don't we? It's Cricketune. For those that are not familiar with Cricketune as a Pokemon, I'm sorry. This is what induces the anger. Like, what? I've had so many hot takes and now you guys want to fight? Well, I know why Milky wants to fight, because his favorite bug is not for another few generations. But the whoop, like, I love Cricketune. I like a lot of the bugs. Bugs is just a good type. And honestly, I wish Cricketune was better. If Cricketune got a mega, that would have been absolutely rad. But unfortunately, I keep winning with the megas, so it's fair. And now megas is just a thing of the past. And I'm like, damn. I also kind of hope that, like, when we heard about Gigantamaxing as a mechanic, I had hoped that Cricketune would get one, and it didn't. I was like, man, man, it made me so upset. But you know, you just gotta do what you gotta do. Rock type. Oh my god. All of these rocks are very good rocks, but my favorite rock is Rampardos. I used Rampardos in my team in Diamond because I thought Rampardos just looked cool, right? And it turns out that Rampardos is just really good. And my favorite part about Rampardos is that its signature move is a recoil move, and I've always hated recoil moves ever since I was introduced to Pokemon, right? But I'm like, listen, if you can hit your head really hard and die for the cause, you might as well hit your head really hard and die for the cause, right? Also, I mean, the only time that Rampardos would actually KO itself is if it hit a Pokemon that was, you know, more HP than it, which is to say a fair amount of them. Buffy. She jumped up and no! Get off the keyboard, you gremlin! What are you doing? Yes, I know, you're sad because you jumped on the keyboard and I had to yell at you. Oh my goodness. You scared me. Okay, I'm keeping the keyboard closer to me now. Okay, my favorite ghost, as I mentioned before, is Dusknoir, and the only reason I'm not picking the obvious legend is because it deserves to go in this slot instead. So, yeah, I'm hacking into your Pokemon picker so I can make everyone's favorite Pokemon who would I make everyone's favorite Pokemon? Everyone's favorite Pokemon is now Cottony. Right, Puppy? She's just kind of staring at me. Whatever. My favorite dragon from Gen 4, I mean, it's just Gibble again. I love Time Horse, don't get me wrong, but like Gibble, right? Gibble's just really good. Gibble is just baby. Like I said, it's just the aura that Gibble just exudes. It just fills me with joy. Also, I just love Gibble's little geh. It's just so confused. I'm just like, they're just baby. They have no idea what's going on. I don't even think Gibble has a brain cell, honestly. Gibble's just baby. My favorite dark type, I don't really have one from Gen 4, in all honesty. But I like Honchkrow for the same reason I like Murkrow. I mean, not the fact that it looks cute, but Honchkrow, it's the fact that its hat became an actual hat. Like, also, I like the feathery, like, ascot type design. It's really cool. Also, the tail feathers being red. It's just, I just like the mafia boss aura that Honchkrow brings. Also, it's funny because knowing Honchkrow is just a really big goober in reality. Because it's just a bigger Murkrow, right? Like how most people are just like kids, but in the bodies of adults. Honchkrow is just a Murkrow in the body of a Honchkrow. It's just, I'm just big. I'm big baby. That's the aura that Honchkrow exudes. Honestly. Buffy. She is Madge. Why are you Madge? No! No bark! No! Buffy! My favorite steel type is Magnezone because I just liked the idea of magnetism, like scrunching up a magneton so hard it just becomes one entity, and then it makes a flying saucer for some reason. And I'm just like, whatever. I'm an alien. Did you know that on the moon we have a lot of magnezones? They just exist because a lot of our stuff isn't based in like magnetism or whatever, so they can just kind of do whatever the hell they want. Unfortunately, the main part of Sanctuary, like it's not really a town hall. I'm not sure how to describe it in human terms, but like there are a lot of them that get stuck to it on a regular basis, and part of my job back when I was on the moon was to go out there with a crowbar and free them from their suffering. Essentially just go out there and kind of pry them off. It's weird, but it's okay. It kept food on the table, and also, I mean, they're not really hostile or anything. They're just upset because they're stuck. And then you get them free, and they're like, "Yay!" And they try to give you affection, and then they get stuck to the wall again. But you know, they're friendly. Don't worry about it. They're just giant magnets, and they're also like UFOs, which is cool, right? I mean, the answer is yes. My favorite fairy in Gen 4 is also easy. It's Togekiss. I mean, Togekiss is just a jet plane that's coming at you at Mach fuck. It is not the jet plane, but you know, it is a jet plane, which is weird that there are two now, but you know. Actually, technically, there are four now, but we'll get to that when we get to that. My favorite starter is Empoleon, because I'm biased as hell. My favorite gimmick form from Gen 4 is... I don't really like any of the megas that Gen 4 gave us, but Mega Gallade is pretty cool. If I had to put anything in the slot, it would be him. If only because I think it's cool that his arms are like, oh man, it's like a special type of like a blade that you kind of reverse grip it. I don't know how to, I don't remember what it's called, but I'm moving chat again because it's time for Gen 5. And Gen 5 is, Gen 5 has my favorite Pokemon in it. Not a sickle. I'm pretty sure it's a sword specifically, but like they're basically like cutlasses. I'm yes, Milky. Yes, Milky is all I'm gonna put that period there. Yes, Milky. But yeah, I don't care enough to look it up. We're just doing Pokemon favorites list. Who cares, right? But hopefully you guys understand what I'm talking about. Also, Milky and Sauce are my two competitive Pokemon player friends. I used to play it competitively myself, and then I realized how much it was dominating my enjoyment of the game, which is to say I stopped enjoying the game. So now I don't. Gen 4 is the last time I played competitively. I also, on occasion, I will like play games with my friends on Showdown, and that's always fun, except when I'm being mean to people. Although that's fun for me. I can't imagine it's fun for other people. But I digress. Let's get started on Gen 5, shall we? My favorite normal type in Gen 5 is actually pretty easy because it's Minccino. I love Minccino. Minccino is very good. Minccino is very baby. Well, let me scroll back up just a little bit. There we go. Minccino, I just love the aura of luxury. It's the white fur kind of exudes because it's kind of got like the little scarf, and it's like a little boa type thing, and I'm just like, it's so cute. It's so cute. I love Minccino so much. Fire type in Gen 5. Ooh, I forgot Gen 5 has so many good fire types. It hurts me. Half of my favorite Pokemon in Gen 5, I just realized are fire types. But I'm like, if I have to pick one, it's Darumaka. I love Darumaka so much. Darumaka is such a baby, right? I just love the fact that it does little toddles or whatever on its little feetsies. Oh, I also like the fact that they're based on Daruma, which is really cool. But okay, that's the short story, long story short. Let's move on, shall we? My favorite water type is Samurott because I'm biased as hell. I'm sure someone was hoping I would say something different. I know there's someone around here who wanted me to say something different, but unfortunately for him, it is neither my favorite water type or my favorite ghost type. So, yeah, I'm gonna move the computer around so I can get more comfortable because oh my god, these shorts, I swear, every time I keep pulling them up and then they'll just roll down. Being chonky is suffering. Anyway, my favorite grass type. Now I know what someone wants me to put in this slot, but I'm gonna put Livani in this slot because that one deserves to be in a different slot. But that is not my favorite all time grass type. Livani is really cool. It sucked in Gen 5 and then they made it better, and I'm like, well, of course they made it better because it's good. Biased. But Livani is my favorite grass type, if only because I have someone else I want to put in my favorite bug type, and I know people who know me well know who my favorite bug type of all time is. But we'll get to that when we get to that. My favorite electric type? Hard to say, I'm not gonna lie. Electric was an okay type for Gen 5. I mean, we got this thing whose name I forget. Electros? I think? But it has levitate. My favorite bug is not Diggersby. Diggersby, though. But Electros, there we go. Electros. I like the electric horse, even though the electric horse is mid. I think the electric horse is cool, in all honesty. I thought it was cool that Alyssa has one, in all honesty. And I thought Zeb Striker was cool. That's just me. I thought it was cool that we were finally getting a zebra, okay? If I could just be honest with you. Because I could easily say that Rapidash is one of my favorite Pokemon, even though I'm not super fond of fire types in general. And I wanted Rapidash to be better, but it's not. And I want Zebstrika to be better, but it's not. So I kind of have the same love for Zebstrika that I have for Rapidash, separate from the fact that it, you know, one is a fire type and one is an electric type. Like, I just like Zebstrika. Like, it doesn't matter that it's electric type to me. I just like Zebstrika. That's just it. The long and short of it. That's all. My favorite ice type is Beartic. I love the ice cream too, don't get me wrong, but I love Beartic's like icicles design. I like the natural progression it kind of had from being like the baby snot nose with the snot frozen out of its nose. I thought it was cool that they kind of made it like a beard, and that's just so cool to me. Also, it has those big arms that look like they're good to hug you. And Beartic, if I remember correctly, Beartic's not that big either, so just kind of made it really funny to me. in some cases well, he's playing Scarlet, wasn't he? Not Violet. It might crash Violet too, who knows. I'm gonna evolve one and see. I hope it crashes Violet, but regardless, Beartic is really good. It's 8 feet tall? Really? Oh my god. He's big baby. I thought he was only like 5 something. Wow. He's very tall. Okay. Beartic kind of radiates the aura of a Pokemon that would only be like 5'8", 5'9". And then it's like 8 feet tall. I love that for him though. It's like you see him from far away, you're like, look at this little guy, look at this little dude. And then you get closer, you're like, oh shit. Look at this dude. Hi, Buffy. She's excited because I'm excited. Speaking of fighting types, I'm not fond of fighting types from Gen 5 either, but if I had to pick one out of this list, it's probably Pignite. I just like Pignite. He's very cute, very small, and he's kind of got that oval aura about him. You know, he's just kind of round a little bit. I was just like, I love him. Pignite's just a little guy. I just love him. Buffy. She's very excited. What? What? She's very cute. I'll show you guys a picture, but I took Buffy recently later. But for whatever reason, why is it that every time I take a picture of my dog, she looks upset? Like, I I can promise you, I am not mistreating my dog, but she takes pictures like I haven't loved her in like hundreds of years, and it's very frustrating. I don't have a favorite poison type in Gen 5, but if I had to give it to anyone, it would be Trubbish. I just like the fact that he's just a little guy. He's just a little trash bag, right? I don't want to say I don't like Garbodor because that's not true. Garbodor is really neat as a concept. I like the fact that he's just like a ripped trash bag and a bunch of trash, right? And he's just kind of like sentient trash. I just love that for him. But Trubbish he's got the little guy. He's the little guy syndrome. I'm also sentient trash, but we've been new. Who can say that Trubbish is not good? Trubbish is just really good. My favorite ground type? I have 2 on this list, which is unfortunate. I do like Excadrill a lot, and don't get me wrong, Golurk is absolutely cracked, but I am a subscriber to Croc Gang, which is to say, my Gen 9 playthrough only really consisted of 2 Pokemon, and that was Crocodile and Skeleturge. And as a result of that, I just started calling them Croc Gang, and it for me specifically, it just stuck. And I loved Crocodile before, don't get me wrong. I wound up not using it anymore because I thought Moxie was kind of busted, and it is, right? But I can't explain how much I love Crocodile. Like, Crocodile is so cool to me, but in all honesty, I don't like the fact that Crocodile becomes red. I wish Crocodile stayed the kind of tawny brown that Sandile's evolved form, whose name escapes me for some reason, but I'm like, what is it? What is it? I know what it is. I don't remember what it is, but Sandile and its evolved form, I wish Krokorok, thank you, or Krokorok. I can't wait to bomb some Dodongos, I guess. I think of Octoroks when I read that word, but yeah. I don't know why it becomes red. It kind of upsets me. But I don't like its shiny form either. It's just not good. But in terms of, like, I like the fact that it's red. I like it being red. I don't like the fact that it changed from brown to red, if that makes sense. Like, I don't mind it being red. I just wish it weren't red. But yeah, Crocodile is really cool. Crocodile is absolutely cool. Which is to say, I have no idea what my favorite dark type is. If I had to, I would probably slot it twice, but you know. My favorite flying type, I don't really have one from this gen, because I didn't really use a flying type myself. I'm not really fond of the flying types in Gen 5. It's not that they're not good, it's just that in my opinion, I just don't like them. But, I mean, I guess if I had to give it to anyone, it would just be Rufflet, because Rufflet it's got small guy syndrome, I feel like. Like, I feel like that's literally what it is. It has small guy syndrome, right? He's so small, he's so baby. I absolutely love him, and I like the fact that they just want to fight you in Paldea for some reason. I don't know. I just think it's really funny. Also, going back to Pixelmon, running into Rufflets is so funny because they're just like up on a mountain and they're just kind of wandering around, and they're like, some Pokemon, they will like aggress you or whatever, but Rufflet just kind of comes up to you and is just like, he looks up at you and you're looking down at him, you're like, hey, what's up? And he's just like, what the hell? He just kind of like has that, he's not sure. He's not sure. He has no idea what's going on. He's just a little guy. But that brings us to the slot that I've been waiting for this entire time. Gen 5 favorite psychic. My favorite Pokemon in all of Pokemon is Reuniclus. I love Solosis line, and Reuniclus is just, oh my god, my little baby, my absolute Scrimbo. I love Reuniclus so much. I don't know how to explain to you. I can say, when I first discovered Pokemon Center way back in the day, I was like, I would absolutely love it. It was after Gen 6 came out, I think. But that was a long time ago now in and of itself. But I was really upset because there was no official merchandise of the Solosis line, right? And I was heartbroken. And I waited years upon years upon years, waiting and waiting and waiting. Just, there has to be merch someday, I kept telling myself. And it just never came. Until this year, when Gen 5 got Sitting Cuties for its entire Pokemon decks. And of course, as I'm sure you guys are aware, that included official merch of Solosis, Duosion, and Reuniclus. And I was so happy. I've never been happier to see my favorite Pokemon in my life, right? And then I was so happy because Blep bought them for me. And they got delayed 2 days, and they came at, I think it was, they arrived on April 2nd or something, because they were supposed to be at my house on the 29th of March, but they wound up getting delayed because Lamau. I love UPS. I could talk forever about how much I hate having to go get packages from FedEx and UPS because they just don't want to actually bring them to my house for some reason. But I tore into that box. I was so excited. And then I pulled them out in each of their little individual bags. And I cried, Chad. I cried. In all honesty, in March, I was going through some really rough stuff. And when I saw them, I was really upset because I'm like, I won't be able to get them. And I'm like, my birthday's already coming up. I already asked for something. I'm not gonna ask for anything. And Blep, being the absolutely wonderful husband he has been for the past 6 years, is just like, no, you need to get them. He just sent me the money. He's like, here. So I have my children in my car because I like keeping stuffed animals in my car because I'm such a girl. I'm such a girly girl. I had a Hello Kitty fucking steering wheel protector. I had Hello Kitty covers, like seat covers at one point. I had Hello Kitty like the little carpet protectors or whatever. I had those in my car for a while too. They got torn up, so like I wound up throwing all of those away because they were just, I spent a lot of money, but they were incredibly cheaply made. But I have all 3 of them in my car. It makes me so happy. And on occasion, I have to go in and I have to rearrange Solosis specifically because it's kind of like round. And as a result, you know, like when I go on turns or whatever, he kind of gets like bejangled a bit. But it's so funny because the last time I checked on him, it was after I came home from Costco. I think it was Sunday. And he was completely upside down. And for some reason, like, Reuniclus and Duosion are fine, right? But Solos is just, he doesn't know. He's just a little guy, right? He's a little upside down. He doesn't know that. He doesn't need to know that. I don't think. But then I like to imagine every time I flip him over, he's like, oh, that explains why the world looked like that for some reason. I like to imagine that despite being psychic types, they just, I mean, they're just like a cell. They're not really a brain, so it's just like they don't have any brain cells. They're doing their best, right? Also, I love Reuniclus a lot because it's just like he looks like he would give you a really good hug, like a really squishy friend. And also, I think he would be very cool like during the summer. Like, I love Reuniclus so much. How do I explain? I've been explaining Reuniclus for what, like 3 minutes, 4 minutes now? I love Reuniclus, okay? Let's move on. I love Reuniclus. I'm overwhelmed by my love for Reuniclus, but he's my favorite Pokemon, and I love him so much. Every time I can use Reuniclus, I have used Reuniclus. It frustrated me that I had to wait until post game for Reuniclus and Shield, and I hate the fact that I have to buy the freaking DLC to get him in fucking Gen 9. But I mean, I have to wait for Whimsicott, but ugh, I'm so frustrated. Anyway, my favorite bug is Volcarona because Volcarona is just cool. And also, it's just like I like moths, I like the sun, and I like Sunbug. That's the long and short, honestly. Like, I don't know how to explain to people why I like Volcarona. It has nothing to do with the fact that I mean, Volcarona is really good. But at the same time, I'm just like, it has nothing to do with that. It's just, I like Volcarona's design. It's really cool. I like its coloration. I like the fact that despite being, like, hotly colored, it has, like, the blue eyes and a blue, like, side body or whatever. That's, like, so cool. Absolutely cool. I just think that Volcarona is such an amazing design, in all honesty. And I just like him because he's a bug. And he's a moth bug. And moth bugs are cool. I like mods, except the mods that decide they're gonna fly in my face while I'm streaming. That's kind of annoying. Anyway, moving on to rock typed. I like Crystal. Crystal is really cool. Also, I like the fact that that Chica Conroy wound up using one on his team, because I wound up using one on my team too, and I'm like, yeah. Also, Lasagna is a really good name for Crustle. I just think it's really good. He's just kind of like a rock lasagna. Also, he's a crab. He's a hermit crab, and his wave for his shell is just rock. That's just really cool. My favorite ghost is a chandelier. Yep, Gen 5 just has all of my favorite favorites in it, in all honesty, and Chandelier is no exception. I loved Candle, in all honesty. Candle is just so cute, and it becomes this cool little lamp, and I'm like, oh man, how does it get any cooler than that? And then I found out that YouTube, that it evolved, right? And I'm like, into what? A chandelier? A chandelier. I just think I'm so lucky. Having ghost as your favorite type, like, you just stay winning, really. Like, there isn't a ghost type I hate outright, so now I'm starting to get cold because I'm sniffling again. But yeah, I love chandelier. I just call it chandelier because everyone knows what I'm talking about, but I love Chandelure. Chandelure is so cool. Also, its shiny is orange. Orange is my favorite color. And I forget who it was, but a friend of mine gave me a shiny Litwick as like a birthday gift once. It was modest and everything, and I was like, oh! And then I evolved it into the Chandelure, and now I miss my candle. I want a shiny hut candle, but I can't shiny hut candle because I don't have the DLC, but makes me angry. Anyway, my favorite dragon. I don't have a favorite dragon, but if I had to give it to anyone, it would be Axew. For the same reasons of Gibble. It just, like, it has that aura of, like, it's a little baby, and when it loves you, it's just gonna give you a little chomp. But in Axew's case, it definitely looks like he would just kind of hug you instead. Because, like, instead of Gibble, who has kind of basically, like, nubs for arms because he's so round, like, Axew doesn't really have that roundness, so he can't actually give you a hug. But Gibble just has to chomp you because its arms compared to his body. It's just like, what is that? Meet the Robinsons with the T-Rex, and he's like, I got a big head and little arms. That's just Gibble. Whereas Axew can actually give you the hug, so that's how I feel. My favorite dark type, I mean, I could easily put Crocodile in this slot too. If I had to pick a different Pokemon, it would just be Zorua because it looks like a little fox, and I'm biased to foxes. Hello, Buffy. Buffy is in my face. Now she is giving me kisses. Hello. What can I do for you, child? You don't know? She's very curious about something. Oh. Hello. Now she's gonna lick my arm again. Oh my god. Okay, fine. My favorite steel type is probably Ferrothorn. I mean, I don't. It's not that I don't like Excadrill. I just like the Pokemon that are like tankier more, if that makes sense. I don't know. That's just me as a person. I just like things that can survive hits. I mean, that's part of the reason why I normally play a tank or a healer. Although some healers are squishier than others. So I normally play tanks, but I digress. My favorite fairy is Whimsicott. There's no long story about Whimsicott, no honesty, unfortunately. There's just Whimsicott. But if you want a story, I can tell you the fact that I own the Ditto Whimsicott, and it's the one plush that I have to keep moving because I don't want it to get dusty. And when it does get dusty, I literally just throw it as hard as I can into the floor. It's rather resilient, I'm not gonna lie. Because I've had to do it multiple times. Like, I keep looking over at him because he's so cute. But yeah, as a congratulatory gift, when I got hired at my last job, my dad bought me a Loungefly backpack, and it's the Evolutions one from Pokemon Center. And I asked him if I could get one more thing, or like if I could add it to the cart and then pay him back when I actually got paid. And he's like, yeah, and it wound up being the Whimsicott Ditto. I only bought it because I thought it was funny and it was in stock, and also I'm like, I love Whimsicott, so sure. And then I bought it, and now he's over there, and he's just vibing on my nightstand. I was gonna say dresser, but I'm like, it's not on my dresser. My favorite Gen 5 starter is so hard. Honestly, I like all of Gen 5 starters. I'm just gonna be biased, and I'm gonna pick Oshawott because Oshawott is very cute. Oshawott is very small, and he's an otter, so whatever. Also, did you guys know that the reason why they gave Oshawott freckles was to make it uglier? But like, it's not ugly. Freckles are not ugly, and neither is Oshawott. He frustrates me. My favorite mega, I don't know. I don't know. If I had to pick one between these two, let me lean over a bit so you guys can actually see Garbodor. But Mega Audino, I guess. I like Mega Garbodor as well. I think Mega Garbodor is really cool, but like, Gen 5 has the most disappointing megas in my opinion, which is unfortunately not their fault. But oh, that's right, it's not a mega, it's a G-Max, I forgot. Thank you for correcting me, Moki. But yeah, I like the idea of a trash mountain. It's really neat, but it's just not good. Mega Aldino is also just not good either. It's just they're kind of mid. It's not really their fault. They could have done better, and I'm actually kind of mad that Gen 6 only got the one Mega, because there were so many Pokemon in Gen 6. Mega Zoroark, Mega Volcarona, Mega Chandelure, and I thought for sure, when they're like, oh, there's a Pokemon in Gen 6 that's gonna get a G-Max, most of my friends thought it was gonna be Chandelure, because like, it feels like worldwide Chandelure is just a really popular Pokemon, right? And not only is it incredibly good, do you mind, child? Buffy is just in my face right now. Hello, is there anything I can do for you, child? Yes you. What do you want? She's very excited. Why are you excited? You have puppy breath. Why are you breathing in my face? Please stop. What? I'm gonna pet her in the background so she'll leave me alone. But anyway, I thought like a lot of my local friends and I thought for sure that like Chandelure was gonna be like the G-Max, right? Because I'm like, they could do so many cool things with a chandelier as a G-Max, and then they're like, by the way, it's just a giant trash heap. And I'm like, huh? Huh? I mean, when they actually when we actually found out who all was in the decks, like, I thought for sure it was gonna be Volcarona, right? But then, if I remember correctly, Volcarona's not in the base game. Like, you had to buy the DLC to get Volcarona. But then I remember, like, all three of my favorites were in the game at some point, right? The only major issue is that Solosis was in post game. So I'm like, surely it has to be one of those three. Because I'm like, Whimsicott is incredibly popular. Chandelure is incredibly popular. And Reuniclus, like, giving it to Reuniclus just seemed like it would be the weirdest thing, right? I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if they actually just gave it to Reuniclus just because of reasons? Just like, why the hell not? And then they're like, by the way, it's the trash bag. I was just like, I don't know what I expected. I'm like, I don't know what I expected better than Garbodor. I'll say that for sure. Garbodor could have had a better design at that, but there's just like, it's just a bigger Garbodor, and I'm just like, My favorite legendary in Gen 5, if you'll believe it or not, I don't actually have one, but I'm just gonna go with my title box, my box legend, because why the fuck not? Genesect was like a big meme between my friends and I back in the day. I do like Genesect. Genesect as a concept is really cool. I'm not like super duper fond of it anymore though. Like, it's not that I don't like it anymore. It's just that I don't know. I guess I fell out of love. Long story short. Gen 6. Gen 6. I have to talk about it. We'll just go through it pretty quickly because I don't have strong feelings about Gen 6 as a whole. And in all honesty, if I had to pick like a reason why, I just didn't like Gen 6 in general, right? So if I have to pick a normal type Pokemon, I could easily say it's probably I can't easily say anything, but I do like Furfrou, and I like the fact that it has the different forms here. All these sprites are really good, but I don't have a favorite like version of Furfrou either. It's just a bigger Buffy, and I think when Gen 6 came out, I had just gotten Buffy. She wound up being a rescue, so I'm pretty sure I named my Furfrou Buffy. It's just a poodle, a big old poodle, and I mean, Buffy is a toy poodle, so it works. I don't have a favorite fire type specifically in Gen 6, but I can easily give it to Talonflame. Talonflame is probably my favorite regional bird if I had to pick one too. That is down here. Yeah, favorite regional bird right here. But like, Talonflame is so cool. I like Talonflame, and then they understandably nerfed it. As well as, you know, getting Gengar basically banned. It's just so many things. And I'm just like, man, you can't have any nice shit around here. My favorite water type from Gen, I mean, I don't really have one, but I thought Mega Blastoise is cool, so I guess I'll just pick Mega Blastoise. My favorite grass type is Chestnut. Easy peasy. Chestnut is so good. I love the Chespin line in general, but like, Chestnut, he's a tanky boy. What else do I need to say? Mega Ampharos. Am I just allowed to pick Mega Ampharos? I think I will, in all honesty. My favorite ice type, I really liked, what is this thing called? Something Aura? Amaura? Something like that? I like this dragon. Not this dragon, this Aurorus? That sounds right. But yeah, I like the I think it's one of the fossil Pokemon too, so like, yeah. Fossil is really good, but I personally just don't I don't know. It's this generation as a whole. Like, Gen 6 is just not all that great, in all honesty. Though I do like Hawlucha, even though he tries to attack me a lot in Violet. He's a pain in the tuchus, but you know, it's okay. My favorite poison type, I mean, it's Gengar. Gengar is just good. Mega Gengar, even better. Though I do like Gigantamax Gengar more, I can admit. Wait. Oh, it's right, because Steelix is half rock, half steel. Duh. A favorite no, ground. It's ground steel. My favorite ground type is Diggersby though. Why did we have a meme about Diggersby? I don't remember, but Diggersby though, I just like Diggersby. He's cool. My favorite flying type, I mean, I guess it's just Talonflame again. I can't see the edge. Oh, there we go. I have to move chat already. Wow. I mean, Mega Pinsir is cool. Not to say that Mega Pidgeot is not cool, but Mega Pinsir just looks cooler in my opinion. Oh, really? I don't remember. I'm getting old, so favorite psychic type? I mean, Esper is very funny. Esper evolving into the two separate Meowsticks was really neat. I don't really have a favorite psychic type from this gen either. Have you considered Diggersby though? I like the Meowsticks. I like the blue one more. I don't remember which one is which. I don't really care enough to remember either. My favorite bug is Spupa. I like Vivillon too, but Spupa just being a little bald baby with a blanket is just so good. It's just so fucking good. Is it? I mean, it doesn't matter. It's one of those things where I don't care enough to find out either, right? The Mega T-Tar. It's just cool. Like I said, it has that weird trypophobia aura about it, and he's kind of spiky and weird, but he still has that same aura like that T-Tar brings. It's just like he's a Larvitar in a T-Tar body, right? My favorite ghost is the sword because, of course, Sword and Shield is so cool. And I thought when they first announced Sword and Shield that they were literally making a game about Ice Slash. I wish. It would have been better. Sword and Shield is just not good, but I like to think in reality, Sword and Shield is actually a game about Aegislash. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, my favorite, what is this, dragon type? Yeah, it is. I'm just gonna give it to Altaria because Altaria is good. I would absolutely love a game where I can play as Aegislash, if only so I could use King Shield every other turn. My favorite dark type is Malamar, though shout out to Inkay because Inkay is baby. But Malamar is so cool. I used Malamar in Sun Moon, or Ultra Moon specifically, because that's the one I actually played. And I'm like, Malamar is good? I never actually used Malamar in Gen 6, so I can admit that like most of my team in Gen 6 was my favorite 3, Chestnut, and yeah, I think that was pretty much it, really. I don't even remember. Did I even get a Gengar? Yeah, because I used Mega Gengar, but God, Gen 6 is just, ugh. Anyway, do I want to put Sword and Board like in this slot? I can put any of the, like, Mega Aggron is good, Mega Metagross is good, Sword and Board is good, Steelix is good. I'm gonna put just Steelix in there. Steelix's Mega is really cool, honestly. My favorite fairy in this generation, I don't have one. I mean, shout out to the flowers for being incredibly pretty because they all are, like, don't get me wrong, but I don't care about the fairy type as a whole. I'm just gonna put Mega Altaria back in the slot because it deserves it, honestly. My favorite starter, as I mentioned, is Chestnut. My favorite gimmick form for this, in terms of Megas specifically, and this is rough because this is where Megas were actually introduced. So this is basically just asking me, what's your favorite Mega? And that's a good fucking question. Because what do you pick? They're all so good. Well, most of them are really good. And then there's Mega Mewtwo that exists, I guess. And of course, Mega Magnetric also exists, unfortunately. But I want to give it to Altaria, but I'm gonna give it back to Ampharos because Ampharos is he's just good. I don't have a favorite legend, but you know what? We'll give it to Mega Rayquaza because I wanted to pick Mega Rayquaza here, but I couldn't. So yeah, we'll just give it to Mega Rayquaza. Anyway, on to a generation I actually like. We're in Alola, everybody. Welcome to Hawaii. Favorite normal type? I forgot like half of these are normal type, but my favorite normal type is definitely Toucanon. I love that shiny Toucanon is just the buy agenda, honestly. I like telling Blep that shiny Toucanon is just him. Because he's just constantly like mad, right? And Blep is just, he radiates an aura of mad sometimes. And I mean, I can't sit here and tell you my husband's actual orientation. That's his job, but my agenda is pretty accurate for him. It's fine. My favorite fire type? Oh, there he is. I like Alolan Marowak. Alolan Marowak is really cool. I like the fact that isn't he Ghost Fire? I think. I don't remember, but I like him. He's cool. I like the fact that his bone is on fire and he's like a fire dancer. That's really cool. No, Gen 7 brought so many good water types that I really like, except Ash's Greninja, which is really stupid. But I'm like this close to giving it to Golisopod, except Guzma made me so mad because most of my team was weak to bug and water, and I'm just like, this is the most frustrating game I've ever played. Pokemon sucks. But I like the swarm form of Wishy-Washy. I just like it. It's just big fish. And it's not even that he's a big fish, it's that he's mini small fish making up a really big fish, and that's really cool. My favorite grass type is the boy, but in his smallest form. I love the owl so much. I love my owl. He's so good. And I love the entirety of the Rowlet line so much. But Rowlet in general, when I first saw Rowlet's official art, I'm like, he's literally just a little guy. He's so small. And he's an owl. And he's just round and you can roll him. And him tucking him feet. He's like Hoot Hoot. And they can be friends. Him and Hoot Hoot can be friends together. They're both little owls. It's so cute. I was so happy. So I loved Hoot Hoot and I love Noctowl, even though unfortunately as regional birds they're garbage. Noctowl's another Pokemon I wished would get a Mega but didn't. But yeah, I was like, man, they're so good. I'm weak to baby, and they are definitely baby. Electric type from Gen 6. Alolan Raichu, because I already loved Raichu so much. And then they're like, hey, look, it's Raichu, but he's a little electric surfer. I'm like, sold! Slaps table. My favorite ice type, and the reason why I fell back in love with ice types in general, after the disappointing performance that Abomasnow gave me, even though I love Beartick, I didn't actually use one. I love it design-wise. Alolan Ninetales made me so happy because I loved Ninetales, but I didn't like the fact that it was a fire type because I just didn't really like fire types back then. And then they announced Alolan Ninetales and it was ice type, and I'm like, the only drawback is that it's half fairy. But I mean, some things can be forgiven, like with Whimsicott, okay, and Clefairy. Sometimes you just gotta love the Pokemon and not its typing. My favorite fighting type is Kommo-o. Kommo-o is probably my favorite fighting type overall, even though it's half dragon. I just like it as a concept, right? It's just so cool looking. And it's like, I don't remember quite what it's based on, but I just like the fact that it kind of has the cool looking rattler tail, even though it can't actually make a rattling noise. I just think it's cool looking, right? Like, it's so cool. Poison type, I really don't have one, but if I had to give it to anything, it would probably be Nihiligo. Like, Nihiligo is just kind of weird. He's just kind of alien, and I like that about him. I think it's cool. My favorite ground type is the Sandcastle. Absolutely love the Sandcastle, especially shiny Sandcastle, because shiny Sandcastle is black, and that's so cool. Black sand is really pretty, but black sand is also, unfortunately, fairly dangerous to handle. Favorite flying type? I always forget that Minior even exists. New Pokemon Snap has a a bunch of Minior you can take pictures of, but I always forget that they come in so many different colors. And of course, there's our boys, because they start grass flying, and then they become ghost type afterward. Then of course there's our regional bird, who's really good. The Oricorios are also all good, and I love Celesteela. Celesteela is definitely one of my favorite Ultra Beasts. So this particular slot as a whole is kind of difficult for me to pick. If I had to pick one though, I'd just probably give it to Sensu Oricorio. I just like the fact that I like the Japanese theming, in all honesty. I thought it was neat that they decided to give Oricorio like these 4 forms. I absolutely love all 4 of them. I love the fact that they had a little hula bird, then they had a little cheerleader bird, and then they had the flamenco. And Oreo is just so good. But I don't know. I love all 4 of them, but all of the flying types in Gen 6 are pretty good. I don't really care much about Minior in general because I don't care. Like, I think it's neat that it comes in a rainbow, but like, I don't care. But I like Oricorio in general. If I had to like pick one of the Oricorio forms, it would probably be Sensu as my favorite, but in my Ultra Moon I have one of each form in a box, so I got them all. My favorite psychic type, I really don't, besides the obvious one of Alolan Raichu, I just don't really have one. And if I had to put something different in this slot, I wouldn't really be able to fill this slot, really. Because I try not to pick legendaries as my favorite types, and that's what makes up the brunt of Gen 7's psychic force. It was just one Pokemon and several of its variations, all of which are psychics, which is frustrating for me. The only reason I'm gonna put Alolan Raichu back in this slot is because I don't like Oranguru more than Alolan Raichu, and I don't like the Hula Oricorio more than Alolan Raichu, and this thing, Bruxish, if I remember its name correctly, I absolutely hate this thing. This is like my second least favorite. Okay, never mind, not second. My third least favorite, because I forgot. Next Generation has another psychic type I absolutely hate. But I digress. Let's move on to Bug. Bug is a good type for this gen as well. We got a lot of decent bugs. I like Charjabug the most because not only is he a little guy, he's a Minecraft block. He's literally just a Minecraft block. But Alolan bugs are so with the I forgot. Milky and I have this thing that we fought about during this generation, and that's he loves Pheromosa. I hate Pheromosa. So I guess it was definitely just one of those things that, because sometimes Milky and I are, when it comes to us being on a side, sometimes we're on the opposite field, and we can both go on forever about why we like or dislike something. But I'm not gonna sit here and tell you the reasons why I hate the roach, other than the fact that there's 2 things you need to know about me. 1, I'm black, and 2, as much as I love bug types in Pokemon, I hate bugs in real life. And you being a roach just makes me want to slap you with the nearest flip-flop. Also, yes, there is a roach there is a roach VTuber now who I'm glad she is who she is. I'm glad. Go follow Matara Khan, please. She's great. But I would beat, if given the opportunity, I would beat the shit out of Pheromosa physically. Like, I would be absolutely done. I would fight Pheromosa. Like, I hate Pheromosa so much. But again, I have several Pheromosa, actually. But speaking of rock types, rock type is another one of those types in Gen 6 that's just kind of filled with mostly one Pokemon. But like, Stack Attacker though? Stack Attacker though? Like, he's just a fucking Minecraft house. How do I describe my love for Stackin? I call him Stacky Tacky because he's a stack that looks very tacky. And his shiny is really cool too. But like I just love Stack Attacker so much because he's so stupid. He's so stupid looking. Someone like built a house in Minecraft and then someone decided, yeah, we're gonna turn this into a Pokemon. So they did. I don't know why, but hey, it works for me. I love him. My favorite ghost is actually really hard because I love Sandcastle and I love Mimikyu a lot. I love Alolan Marowak, but I gotta go with my boy. I gotta go with the boy. He's so good. Have you ever closed a Decidueye's hood? Like in Pokemon Ami? Or whatever the hell it was called in Gen 7? Like it's so funny. Decidueye is so good. I love Decidueye so much. He's just, besides the fact that he's an owl still, he's an archer, which is cool. His animations, as stiff as they are, I thought were cool. Like, I love the bird. He's very good. Also, did you know that Decidueye and I are the same height? Yeah. He's my boy. Because I can look him directly in the eye, and I can be like, look me in the eye. Look me in the eye right now and tell me what you want for dinner. Which is very important to me. What is this type? Dark? No, dragon. I mean, I put Kumo in its slot on purpose, and in all honesty, Guzzlord is my favorite dragon. But also, Guzzlord is my favorite dark type because he is all encompassing. He will consume all, including you and me. And one day, he will consume the entire timeline and universe. And, you know, he's always hungry, so he's not just gonna stop there. And I think that's cool. He's just, I told Milky, he's just like me for real, for real. And then Milky's like, no, he's not. I'm like, but he is though. He is literally just like me. He eats forever, and he's always hungry. And he's still hungry even now. People say to this day that Guzzlord is eating his way back into the Pokemon Dex. And he was here last gen, but we haven't seen eye or hair of him yet, but he will be here. Trust me. One day, we will see Guzzlord again. And everyone's gonna regret it, in all honesty. But I digress. When it comes to steel types, there really aren't really good steel types either. As much as I love, oh my god, this isn't Togedemaru. I was gonna say Dedenne. I'm like, that's not Dedenne. Dedenne is Gen 6. It's Celesteela. The Ultra Beasts, in all honesty, are just really good, and Celesteela is no exception. But I think I like the fact that the thing I like the most about Celesteela is the fact that it has this word steel in its name. Also, it's just like Princess Kaguya, but it's actually a rocket ship. Yeah, I hate the fact that we're not gonna get designs like the Ultra Beasts again, because the Ultra Beasts are they're just so funny, right? They're just funny looking guys, and I think that's great. Like Stack Attacker, I could talk forever about how silly I think it is as a design. Probably not forever, but a long time. Also, going back to Guzzlord too, like I like the fact that in reality, like I was like, oh, it has claws on its hand, and like obviously that might be its mouth, and it has this giant mouth. No, the little claws are actually just hands, and it has just this big mouth, this big all-encompassing mouth. I'm just like, that's so cool. Also, in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I really like the Ultra Ruin, where you can talk to the guy who tells you a bit about like Guzzlord and the world you find it in. It's so cool. It's so cool. But Guzzlord is basically like, he's the be-all end-all in like a time that's like RimWorld, like 5500. Like that's what that Ultra Ruin felt like, and it was so cool. Also, going back temporarily to Pheromosa, I can at least say the Ultra Desert is really well designed. I just don't like Pheromosa. I just think roaches are I would throw a slipper at her from across the room. Actually, several of them. Actually, no, I wouldn't even get the slipper because I think I would throw the slipper too slow. I would go get the raid, and for her sake, I hope by the time I come back with the raid, she's either invisible or gone. Because if you crave die, then you can stay. Also, since I didn't give it my favorite ghost slot, I'm gonna give Mimikyu the fairy slot because he's baby. He just wants to be loved, so he made himself look like the cutest Pokemon that he knows, which is Pikachu, which is unfortunate because there are many other cute Pokemon that I wish Mimikyu would be instead. And in fact, I wish Mimikyu would show me what they look like so I can be creeped out and then be like, I think you're cute and creepy, which is great. My favorite starter, I mean, I already talked about this, so we won't talk about it again. Favorite Gen 7 different gimmick form is probably Alolan Raichu. I do like Alolan Ninetales, as I mentioned. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna give this slot instead to Alolan Vulpix, because Alolan Vulpix is not on this list at all, and I would feel bad if I didn't. But it's true. He's my favorite. My favorite legendary is Lunala. Lunala is so pretty. I wish Lunala was cooler in the story, but Lunala's whole purpose is to just kind of get launched on by what's his name, Necrozma. Which is, have we ever discussed the fact that Necrozma and Guzma have similar letters in them? Like, hello? I'm blaming Guzma for everything that happens in Sun and Moon. It's his fault. You did this. But yeah. Gen 8. Gen 8. What do I even say about Gen 8 other than the fact that it exists? I mean, I love Gigantamax Eevee because it's just a big little poofy, but we got a Sheep. Sheep is really good. I love him. I like Double too. Double is really cool, but Wooloo... Wooloo is so baby. And if you haven't seen a Wooloo move, you need to. Because you know how it's basically just a circle? It like tucks its feet and rolls everywhere. And this applies even in places where it's like not moving quickly or anything, like at camp or something. It just... Why is Wooloo? Because Wooloo is good, I guess. Also, I'm biased as hell. Rabbit is my favorite fire type. I mean, I think the Eastern Dragon Bug is also very good, as well as Gigantamax Charizard, as I mentioned earlier. And the only reason I'm not saying Cinderace specifically is because, in all honesty, I like Scorbunny more than Cinderace, even though Cinderace is very cool. Scorbunny is just, he's baby, and I love him. He's just baby. Oh, it includes World Legends Arceus as well. Okay, I didn't actually notice that somehow. But in all honesty, I think Gigantamax Blastoise is my favorite water type. Purely because it's just... I like the fact that it's just like a giant fortress, right? Like, it's so cool. It's so cool. This one. This is the apple I was talking about earlier. The little dragon guy who's an apple. He kind of looks like a turtle, but he's not really a turtle because he can't like tuck his feet or whatever. Appleton! Thank you! Appleton is so cute. I love Appleton so much. It's very good. But yeah, I don't really see anyone else I would want to give this slot to, so Appleton can keep it. I also like the fact that its Gigantamax form is just a giant caramel apple. Like... I've never wanted to eat a Pokemon more than I want to eat like Appleton and its Gigantamax form. This is just Puppy, absolutely my favorite electric type. I like Bolton too, don't get me wrong, but Yamper just has that. He's got that certain je ne sais quoi, if that makes sense, right? Because he's just baby. I wish I could say Frosmoth was my favorite ice type because I'm not gonna lie, along with, I'm sure a fair amount of people, thought that Frostmoth was basically just going to be Ice Full Corona, which means it was going to be insanely good, right? And then it wound up being incredibly slow, which means, as you might imagine, it's not very good because it's very slow. As a direct result of that, unfortunately, I'm going to say my favorite is Galarian Darumaka, because he's just an ice version of regular Darumaka, and honestly, that's just good. Also, he's a little snowman, which I think is very good, and him eyebrows very good. His eyebrows very good. Favorite fighting type is Farfetch'd. Surfetch'd. I'm like, Farfetch'd's evolution? My brain was like, no, you know what that word is. Surfetch'd. Surfetch'd is absolutely cracked. I love Surfetch'd. What the fuck? Like, they spent 20 years not giving Farfetch'd anything, and then they're like, hey, guess what? Farfetch'd evolves now. And I'm just like, huh? Why? Why not? I guess, right? Poison type, I don't really hate Toxel and Toxtricity. I don't really like them either. And I think that Gigantamax Toxtricity is cool, but I also feel like that the Gigantamax was wasted on them. I don't really like, what's this Pokemon? The legendary one. This one. I don't really like them all that much. So, in all honesty, I'm gonna give it to Overquill, because in all honesty, I thought Overquill as a concept was really fucking cool, especially as a long-distant evolution, again, from Quillfish this time. I thought it was really cool. How you get Overquill is really stupid. But I like Overquill a lot. I didn't actually use one because I'm not really fond of poison types as a whole, but I've seen people use Overquill, and Overquill is absolutely amazing. I would recommend using Overquill if you like poison types for sure. My favorite ground type is probably Sandaconda. Sandaconda is really cool. This one is Sandaconda, right? This is the baby. I don't remember. Oh no, the Silicobra Sandaconda. Okay, so yeah, that is Sandaconda. Silicobra is also really cute. I absolutely love Silicobra, but Sandaconda, I like the fact that, like, he was so cowardly. He grew like a flotation device and wrapped himself around himself to keep himself safe. It's just very silly and cute. I just like it as a concept. Hey, YouTube. Thank you. Ice type in Gen, what is this, 8? No, this is flying type. My bad. My bad. I'm caught up. It's okay. My favorite flying type is, of course, Corviknight, because Corviknight is just steel flying. I thought it was gonna be a worse Skarmory, but it turned out to be essentially a better Skarmory, which is unfortunate for Skarmory, but I like Skarmory in, like, general, so Corviknight made me really happy. Also, Max Friendship Corviknight is very cute, especially like when you play ball with them, because they're so excited. And they're just like, they just want to be loved. And my main Corviknight, my Gigantamax Corviknight in Shield, she's always wanting to tell me things about other Pokemon, and like, I turn and I look at her and she's there and she like wants to talk to me, and I talk to her and she likes telling me about the rest of the team like all the time. And it's funny because she never gets sick of talking to me either. She's very cute. She's like, I got the latest gossip. You gotta know what it is. It's so cute. My favorite psychic? I don't really have one. I guess I can easily give it to Galarian Rapidash, but I gotta say the Hatterene family or whatever, I hate them. I think they're really stupid. I feel the same way about them that I feel about Gardevoir, and I think it's really dumb that they were like, hey, you know how Gardevoir is really popular? Let's make another one. Why? And I feel like for what it does, like, it being psychic makes sense. I think instead of being half fairy, it probably should have been half dark. Because yeah, it would still have a ghost weakness and all of that cool stuff too. So, like, I don't know why it's not half dark, but whatever. I don't feel like spending my precious time talking about it. My favorite bug type from Gen 8 is Snom. Just just Snom. He baby. I love him. My favorite rock type, I don't really have one because I didn't really use any of the rock types. I like the fact that they made Growlithe a rock type, but making it quad weak to water kind of made me nervous, so I wound up not using mine. I don't, as a result of that, have a favorite. I guess if I had to give it, it would probably be one of the Growlithe line. I'll just give it to Arcanine because Arcanine is cool in general. My favorite ghost is of course Jetplane. And my favorite dragon is also Jetplane. Yeah. Just Jetplane is so good. But you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna give Dreepy Ghost and I'll give Dragapult Dragon. I just love them in general. Not just because they're half ghost, then that they're basically pseudo legend Giratina, because that's essentially what they are. But I like the fact that Dragapult actively has Dreepy and that it fires from its cannons. I just think it's very funny. Also, like, as in general, like not Drakeloak, there we go. Drakeloak has the Dreepy like on their head. It's so cute. I just like it in general. I love Dreepy line. It's so good. My favorite dark type, I don't have one really. Because I had hoped that Thievul and its evolution would be better, but they're not. And I don't like the regional Zigzagoon. It's kind of ugly. So I'm just gonna give it to Hisuian Samurott because cool. Honestly, I'm surprised that Samurott wound up being like a solo type mon at the end. I thought for sure it was gonna be like fighting or dark, but it made sense that it wasn't fighting, and dark type would not have really made sense, I guess. And then they like, you know what if we made it water dark anyway? And so they did, I guess. My favorite steel type is actually Hisuian Gudra. I think it's really cute. I like the fact that they turned it into a snail, like an actual snail. It has an excuse to be kind of gooey and gross, which I think is fun. I think what really endeared me to Hisuian Gudra is the fact that it actually does end up doing like the snail thing where it can, when it's shy, it will like go in its shell, which is really cute. My favorite fairy is definitely Alchemy. I like its Gigantamax form the most, for sure. I think it's really cool. The fact that it's just a massive cake is just rad to me, in all honesty. I never got a Gigantamax Gengar or a Gigantamax cake, and I kind of wish I could still get one, but people really aren't playing this game anymore, which makes sense. I mean, no one really liked the game to begin with, so that makes sense. My favorite starter? Hilariously, Hisuian Decidueye is really cool. I was worried that I wouldn't like it because it just kind of felt reminiscent of Chestnut, but with, more attack than defense. But I wound up really liking Hisuian Bird a lot. And in all honesty, I would prefer using regular Decidueye, like Alolan Decidueye, over Hisuian, but I like them both, so. As for my favorite regional difference for any of these, in all honesty, I don't know. I wouldn't even be able to pick, in all honesty. From this generation specifically, like, I like a lot of these. If anything, I want to give it to Hisuian Typhlosion, because Hisuian Typhlosion is really cool. Sirfetch'd is really good. Oh, Galarian Farfetch'd, that's right. I mean, he's kind of too edgy, 5-me. Or 3 edgy, 5-me, whatever. My favorite legend is Regidrago. Not because he's a dragon, but because he's literally just an orb that he found a dragon skull and thought it was cool, and now he's wearing it forever. I just liked the Pokemon Peeled Twitter. I don't think I've ever seen them do Regidrago. I should go look and see if they have, but I can imagine Regidrago would literally just be the orb. and that's it. So, I mean, Galarian Farfetch'd is okay. He's a little edgy. He's a little too edgy. We come to our final generation, Gen 9. I love Maushold. Maushold is so cute. He's just a bunch of Mises, and he's gonna hit you a lot. He's gonna hit you immensely, repeatedly, forever. My favorite fire type is easily just Baby. He's just a little guy. He's just a little guy. My favorite water type, I don't really have one. I do really like Quaquaval because I like the festival aura it has about it. Its idol is really cool. But like other than that, I don't feel one way or another about the rest of the water types, and like Quaxley is cute, and its evolved form, whose name escapes me, is also kind of cool. But like I don't really think about it one way or another. Fuecoco just kind of won my heart, and as a result, I don't really care about the other starters. So, but I don't really like the water types in Gen 9. They're just okay. They're kind of mid, but whatever. Favorite electric type? I don't really have one. If I would pick one though, it's the Paradox T-Tar, because he's so little. I think he and I are also the same height, honestly. That just also, if you've never seen one of these when they're sleeping, like all the Paradox Pokemon from Violet when they're sleeping are just so good. My favorite ice type, easily Citadel. Absolutely love Citadel so much. Absolutely love them. Just baby. My favorite fighting type, I mean, I don't really, I give it to what is it? Something Tusk, I think. The Donphan from Scarlet. He's very cool. My favorite poison type is probably Clodsire, because Clodsire is just now Wooper but poison, which is cool. And my favorite ground type, you would think I would say Clodsire or Wooper again. No, it's Iron Treads. he's silly. He's very small, by the way. Like he's tiny. I don't really have a favorite flying type, but if I had to give it to one, it would probably be Kilowattrel, just because I think it's neat as a concept. Apparently it's not very good, but I think it's neat. Also, I gotta say my favorite psychic is the Enlightened Poop Bug, whose name escapes me for some reason. I don't know I don't even remember. I just call it the Poop Bug because it's a dung beetle. But like, I don't even remember what its name is. I don't remember what his name is anymore. I like Slitherwing. Slitherwing is my favorite bug because it's Volcarona, but it's good. That's not to say that Volcarona is bad, but it's good because it's even more fluffy. And also, it's very big. If you've never seen a Slitherwing in proportion to your like player character, they are massive. Which is very funny because, you know, they're already, I think they're like 10 feet tall. But they're definitely not 10 feet tall in game. Like, they're very, very small in comparison. Garganacl is cool. I really like the fact that we finally have salt rocks for whatever reason. I think it's really funny. I don't know why. My favorite ghost, easy. The goodest boy. I'm just kidding. It's the actual goodest boy. What is his name? Houndstone, I think it is. I don't even remember like half these Pokemon's names. It's just funny. I think Violet has like my second fastest clear time. Like, besides me being distracted. My favorite dragon, I think it's the yellow one, but those sushis that can be white, I think it's the yellow one, but that one is my favorite because I have a shiny version of it. It's cute. My favorite dark type is the goodest boy, Mabostiff. I liked Mabostiff before the Arven thing, and then the Arven thing happened, and I'm like, well, I'm dead. My favorite steel type, oh man, I guess I can easily just give that to Goldango, because Goldango as a mechanic is really cool. I just don't like the fact that you can't heal it, which makes some raids kind of annoying, you know. but what can you do? My favorite fairy, I want to give it to Donut, but then I fell in love with Screamtail because I caught a Screamtail and she's just very good. My favorite starter is of course Skeledirge. Not only is he part of 5-3 gang, but he also weighs like 700 pounds. And honestly, he's just like me. He's sassy, he's fiery, and he can sing really good. Also, for some reason, he really dislikes me. I'm just kidding. He doesn't dislike me. It's more the fact that every time I throw my starter out and I'm like, "Hi, I love you," he's just like, he does the no and he just leaves, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." But my favorite regional variant of this particular generation is definitely Paldean Wooper, because I like the fact that its little frills or its fins, I guess, have become like a skull and crossbones. The reason why is I realize is terrible, but I just think he's really cool. But he's still so happy. He's still so happy. And honestly, I love that for him. My favorite legendary, I mean, I do like Miraidon, don't get me wrong, but Walking Wake exists. And unfortunately, Walking Wake is just really, really cool. It's unfortunate, but what can you do, right? Now we go across the bottom and the top to pick our favorite from each type and each generation. I think I'm gonna do from each type first, and then we'll go down and do generation. So my favorite normal type, if I had to give it to any of these, it would probably be Swablu. I'd say my favorite fire type out of these is definitely Fuecoco, because he's baby. My favorite water type, I mean, I could easily tell you my favorite water type is Blastoise, regardless of, you know, what generation. I just love Blastoise. My favorite grass type is Whimsicott in reality, but if I had to pick another one out of the ones that we already picked in this column, it's probably Chestnut. Favorite electric type is Raichu. Absolutely Raichu. My favorite ice type is Citadel, for sure. My favorite fighting type, that's a good point in my brain that I didn't actually say. I think if I had to pick a favorite fighting type, it's either Como or Surfetched. I kind of want to give it to Surfetched because Surfetched is just, I think Surfetch'd is neat, honestly. My favorite poison type is Crobat. My favorite ground type, yeah, Crocodile for sure. Favorite flying type, it's definitely Pelipper. I like Drifblim too, but I like Drifblim more as a ghost than a flying type, so. Favorite Pokemon of all time, of course. Favorite bug? Favorite bug is probably Volcarona, yeah. Slithering is very cool, but only because it's a bigger Volcarona, to be fair. My favorite rock? I'm gonna give it to Stack Attacka, because I really like Stack Attacka. My favorite ghost is Gengar. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I love Chandelier, don't get me wrong, but Gengar has always been my favorite ghost. It's kind of hard to dethrone what, you know, is the best, right? My favorite dragon, between all of these, Dragonair has some competition when it comes to Altaria, but it's still Dragonair. If only Altaria was a noodle. My favorite dark type is probably Umbreon. My favorite steel type is definitely Steelix. My favorite fairy is Whimsicott. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. My favorite starter, because Blastoise is not here, I'm gonna pick my favorite like actual starter. And it's so difficult for me because I love Decidueye and I love Skeledirge, but Skeledirge wound up winning out in the end, I think. And my favorite of the regional choices is probably just Mega Ampharos. My favorite legend of the ones that I picked is definitely Giratina. Giratina is my favorite legend, and there's there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that one, really. Favorite Gen 1 out of all ones we picked is definitely Raichu. Favorite from Gen 2 is Umbreon for sure. And Ampharos is really close, but Umbreon I think is better. My favorite Gen 3 Pokemon is definitely Pelipper. Even though Altaria is really good as well, Pelipper is just a slight bit ahead of Altaria. It's very slight. My favorite Pokemon from Gen 4 is definitely Giratina. because I'm biased as hell. Favorite from Gen 5, speaking of bias, is Reuniclus. My favorite from Gen 6 is Chestnut. I'm not picking Ampharos for that because that's not fair. My favorite from Gen 7 is definitely Decidueye. My favorite from Gen 8 is Dragapult, probably. My favorite from Gen 9 is Skeledirge. And my favorite Pokemon of all time is, of course, Reuniclus, because he's just the best, honestly. Okay, let me move the chat down here. There we go. Favorite regional bird? Oh, out of the base birds? I mean, I'll give it to Wingull. Favorite regional mammal? Sentret for sure. Favorite regional bug? Ooh, that's actually kind of hard. I'm gonna give it to my Leafy Baby because I love Leafy Baby so much. Favorite pseudo legend is definitely Dragapult. Favorite Pika clone? I mean, can you be a Pika clone if you are the original Pika? Favorite evolution is Umbreon. My favorite fossil is Cradily. My favorite regional form is Alolan Ninetales. Favorite Gigantamax? Oh, out of all the Gigantamaxes? I mean, I guess we can give this one to Gengar. He's a little scribblo. Favorite baby? I mean, I love all baby, but Cleffa for sure. Favorite box legend? Ooh. I mean, based on the how the posing is and the composition of a box legend in general, honestly, Miraidon is probably my favorite. Just like, if I were to look at all the boxes of games that I played, and I do that frequently because I still own them all, Miraidon sticks out the most. So, my favorite mythical Pokemon? And I'll give it to Genesect, though I could easily also give it to Defense Deoxys, but I'll give it to Genesect because I think Genesect deserves it a bit more. Favorite Ultra Beast is definitely Guzzlord. Absolutely love Guzzlord. Favorite Paradox is Slitherwing. Favorite type is Ghost. My favorite Pokeball is a Luxury. I don't really have a favorite Spinda, so I'm not gonna bother doing that. I think this one's the snow one, because I know there's the polar one, and I believe that's this one. But the snow Vivillon is my favorite. My favorite alchemy, I like the orange one with the orange flowers. And my new favorite evolution out of all of them is probably Basculegion. The blue one. I think that's female? I don't remember. Oh my god. Favorite team? Or my team of Pokemon? Let's see. Whimsicott, Chandelure, and Reuniclus. Because I'm biased as hell. Oh. I clicked this slot. There we go. Whimsicott. There we go. Oh. Okay, hold on. Maybe I can get them both on screen at the same time. Yeah. Okay. Skeledirge for sure. I would want to bring... I'm gonna bring Blastoise. Make them my Gigantamax. Sure, why not? If I wanted to bring a Mega, though, it would probably be Ampharos. Because Ampharos is cool. Also, I want an electric type. But yeah, that's... wow. I didn't expect to finish this tonight, but there we go. How about we randomize the Spinda and see if we find a cute one? There's a lot of different Spinda types, I realize now. Wow. Okay. We'll just leave that one, because that one I think is the cutest that I found. Now I'm gonna click download image. 1,000,000 different types of Spinda? Holy cannoli. Okay. Oh, that is... How long have I been streaming even? 3 hours? No wonder why I feel so tired. I'm like, that has to be everything, right? It is indeed everything. Oh my lord. Wow. I wasn't expecting that to go for 3 hours. But, let me go ahead and... Oh, hold on. I forgot we have music. playing in this tab. I'm gonna go ahead and there we go. $4,294,967,296 different spender. God damn. Why? 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 Okay, well, there we go. There is. Oh, it's still. Oh my god. There is the list of all of my favorite Pokemon. I'm gonna upload this to Twitter. You know what? I can post it right now. Actually, no, I'll post it after stream. But for now, I'm just gonna get rid of it. I wasn't expecting it to be that big. But yeah. I honestly, I wasn't expecting that to take 3 hours. I knew it was gonna take a while, but I wound up getting passionate about the Pokemon that I love the most because, of course, I did. The Pokemon you love, or the Pokemon you love, right? Ugh. I don't know. I'm starting to feel a little fatigued now because, wow, it's been 3 hours. It's been 3 hours. I had something I wanted to say and I forgot it. I guess I should talk about Saturday. Hold on a second. Let me. Okay. Saturday, October 21st, that is this coming Saturday, I will be celebrating 2 entire years of VTubing. And as a direct result of that, you know, I'll just leave it on screen. Why not? I'm excited because I'm going to be showing off not only my new design that I've had in the works for, and I checked, 2 years. Actually, not long before I started VTubing, actually. I just chose the other design because it was older, but I digress. I'm excited because I'm actually going to be talking about my lore as well, which I realize I actually haven't been talking about. I talk about it sometimes, but not frequently. As I mentioned on Twitter, I don't have anything cool like a lore video or anything. It's just mostly gonna be chatting. We'll talk about my lore for a bit. I'll do the design reveal. Maybe we'll do something else. I don't know. But yeah. Also, oh, I forgot. The Saturday at 8 p.m. PDT. It is still daylight savings time. That is GMT minus 8. I think it's actually supposed to be 7, but whatever. I'm not keeping up with time anymore. Also, on my throne that I just realized I never talk about, I have listed some crowdfunding cash gifts that will be used for commissions for the channel on VGen. Just want to get some new emotes and stuff. You're not obligated to contribute to these at all. There's just, if we get them, cool. If not, then maybe I'll fund it myself somehow, because I plan to use my payout on Twitch for that, but unfortunately some things wound up coming up and I was not able to do that, which is typically how things go because that's just how life is, right? But I just thought I'd bring it up anyway because a friend of mine gave me the idea and she's like, well, it's your anniversary, hopefully people will like feel a little generous. But I'm just gonna go ahead and say, if you can't give, or if you can't give, don't want to give, or anything like that, you're not obligated, right? I'm not gonna be mad because you didn't and it's gonna sit there forever or anything like that. It's just that I thought I would bring it up. I've also posted about it on Twitter if you want to actually go and see. Apparently there are some processing fees that need to be paid, so it is not the specific price of the commissions, as the commissions are listed at $60, but I have the I have the gifts listed at $5 higher than the listing, just in case any processing fees need to be done. And I mean, 9 times out of 10, if I have money, it ends up flying out of my wallet because I need to eat or I need to buy something for the house or whatever, things like that. But like I said, if you can't give or don't want to give, please don't feel like I'm going to be angry or anything like that. And like, if you can't afford it, please don't, is what I'll say. Like, if you're gonna, I'll put it like this, right? If you have an extra $5 and you're not subbed and you don't want to sub, if you want to throw it at that, I'd appreciate it. But if you have an extra $5 and you need it to get something to eat, do not give it to me. I I don't want a $5 that you could have used to eat instead, because I'm like, $5, while it doesn't give you much now, you can get 4 cup noodles. That's at least a meal for one day. Or if you're me, you eat all 4 cup noodles at once, but that's besides the point. Cup noodles so good, I can't help but want to eat like a lot of them. I just like eating noodles in general, but I need to stop eating because I'm bored or whatever. That's part of the reason why I never have any money. Because sometimes I just get hungry because I'm not doing anything else. In reality, I'm probably getting hungry because I haven't eaten. That's an entirely different topic for an entirely different day. But, do I have anything else I need to talk about? Um, Not yet. I'm waiting on some things. Um, Waiting on some things and waiting on some things, and that's all I can really say right now. Um, I can say if things don't do a thing, then I will probably end up trying to rush playing P3P, because I forgot that 3 Reload comes out in February, and that's literally 4 months from now. I started P3P when I got it in, like, what was it? Late April, early May, and it's October and I still haven't finished it yet. I wanted to do an interest check to see if anyone would be interested in watching me play it. If not, that's fine. I don't mind playing it on my personal time, because I have the bad habit of starting up playing it at like 7 or 8 p.m. and then playing until like 5 in the morning, and I would rather not keep people up. So like, if I did stream them, it would probably be on Saturdays, and progress would be incredibly inconsistent because I'm gonna be playing it in my free time as well. But whatever, I'll post like a poll and something on Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, if you are interested in following me and seeing announcements and cool stuff like that, because I do post schedules every Sunday. I do post about my streams usually the day before or the day of the stream. My Twitter handle's down there in the bottom left corner. Feel free to follow me. If not, that's cool. Don't worry about it, because I do have my schedule up on Twitch as well. It should be under schedule under the stream. But yeah, is that it? Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it, really. I'm thinking really hard. Oh, I think Saturday as well, because I actually haven't shown off my model in full since my debut. I think I'll do that for you guys. How about that? That'll be before I show you the new design, of course. But you'll be able to compare and contrast and all that cool stuff. I'll even show you the reference for each of the outfits as well, because I think I've done it in just chats before, but I haven't actually like sat down and shown the model versus the references. But we'll do that Saturday. It's 11 and I'm getting tired and also kind of hungry, and I'm pretty sure since both of my mods are on the East Coast, they're ready to probably go to bed. Tomorrow is Friday, and I'm sure they have a lot of stuff that they are going to be doing over the weekend. Well, I know one of them doesn't. The other one, I don't know. Milky has things that he must stare at in Final Fantasy 14, which may or may not include himself, but that's okay. That's what we play Fashion 14 for, I guess. But in the meantime, everyone, I would like to bid you adieu. I wish you a good rest of your night or morning if you're watching this early on. I wish you a good Friday. I wish you a decent Saturday. I say decent because Sunday is when you should actually be getting. Oh, Sunday night is when you should be getting turned. I guess that's just me, my opinion. But uh, hopefully, I will see you Saturday at 8 p.m. my time. That is Pacific Daylight Time to celebrate my 2 year anniversary. We're just gonna hang out, like I said, on probably vibe. I'm gonna go and grab this VOD now because it's gonna take forever to download because it's 3 hours and 15 minutes long. Then I think I'm gonna AFK on my friend's Minecraft server because I need a lot of birchwood. And if you've played Minecraft, you know what that's like. Literally sitting around doing nothing for several hours while you wait. But until next time, everyone, which will hopefully be Saturday the 21st, I hope that you guys take care of yourselves. You stay hydrated. Pet your pets for me. Buffy sleep, otherwise I'd pet her for you now, but we're not gonna wake her because she was very excited during stream. And if she's worn herself out, good. Until next time, everyone, take care of yourselves. Bye bye.